beautiful house. And you may ask yourself, well, hey, hey,
Oh, this is not same as it ever was. That's an interesting version of that song, but it is my theme song, and I'm glad to be here. You're listening to Butch Maxwell hosting on the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. Good to be here today with you on a very cold winter day. I'm here with not with Lola Miller, but with C.J. Rose. C.J., good to have you here today.
It's good to be here. How are you doing, Butch?
Good, good. So you're back from Marietta, right?
Yep, for winter break.
All right, that's great. How'd you do this semester?
I did pretty good. It was a little confusing. We went back and forth between in-school learning and virtual learning.
Yeah. How much of it was in person? Do you know?
A lot of it was like for some classes we would be in person one day and then online another day.
Okay. Yeah. That minimizes your exposure a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but we did have a lot of in-person stuff down there.
Yeah.
And all the desks are social distance, so
Okay.
less contact, close contacts.
Right. Did you have any labs or anything like that?
I had a biology lab and a chem lab.
Yeah. Okay. So then you were able to social distance in those as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. Any of your professors seem to be a little freaked out and want to do everything on via remote or anything?
Yeah, there's a few of them. Like we get no like papers handed out to us or anything. Most of everything, like worksheets or quizzes, are online now.
Yeah.
But
That makes sense. I gave all of my tests online this year, and no handouts or any of that stuff. And just trying to make it. But boy, what a lot of work though, pulling it all together and getting it ready for students. And then throughout the semester too, just checking. This one isn't this. Is not accessible or whatever. So it could be challenging both for the students and for the professors.
yeah,
And this was your first semester, right?
this was my first semester. It was all over the place because I also play football, and they ended up having to shut down most of those sports programs for a social distancing, physical distancing period.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the players and participants from the different teams started to test positive. Mm-hmm. So we had to shut that down, and a lot of students had to be quarantined into hotels as close contacts because we ran out of room to store the COVID students on campus.
Oh boy. So they had to move to hotels and things
Yep.
like that. Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody that got very sick or anything?
No, not really. I mean, most of them were like either not symptomatic or like very mild, like cough.
Yeah. That's good. Seems that younger people don't get terribly sick from this particular virus, so that's good, from that standpoint. But it's still serious, and you can still spread it. So. Very difficult. I know I went into my freshman composition class in August and just said, what a weird time to be going to college, But of course they couldn't help it, and it was just, you just do what you have to do. I know a lot of students had actually opted to just take this as an off year too. So
there were many upperclassmen students that were like, "This is probably the hardest year that we went through since it's all new."
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what to do since everything's virtual. And
it is.
there were like no office hours in person with the teachers, so we had to set up a Zoom meeting or email them.
Yeah.
So we couldn't meet them in person to ask like questions and stuff.
It's crazy, and I've done an awful lot. I've just been living on Zoom pretty much. But it's okay, and I think we are going to get through this. I think it will be another challenging few months ahead of us, though. So it's good. All right, well, it's 41 degrees right now outside. It's going to get maybe a couple degrees warmer, and that's about it. And it's going to be cold tonight. It's going to get down into the 30s. So you want to bundle up and all that stuff. And tomorrow going to be a lot like it is today, and Sunday. This is going to be our weekend. Going to have a high of about 39 on Saturday, 37 on Sunday. And looking in towards the rest of the week, it all looks like right around there, right around the 39 to 45 degree high throughout the next 10 days or so. But no precipitation, so there's that. That we'll take that. Crazy stuff going on in the world, as always. And today we're going to be talking to P.D. Gregg at 2:30 from Ogilvy Institute's Towngate Theater, and we're going to be discussing their current production of A Christmas Carol, which goes up today. A little bit later, 3:30, I'm going to be talking to Karen Hart of the Seeing Hands Association. She's going to be talking about the agency's innovative seasonal fundraiser. And at 4 o'clock, musician, educator, and my very good friend Sean Decker is going to be my guest, and heaven knows what's going to happen there. But it's always a good time, and I hope you're able to stick with us for the next few hours. A lot of good stuff coming up on sports-wise on the radio here over this weekend. If sports is your thing, you've got your thing right here on the Watchdog Network. On WVLY on Saturday, we're going to have OSU at Michigan at noon, so at high noon. That seems appropriate, having lived in Columbus and knowing how they feel about Michigan. So that should be a big game. Also, if you are more interested in the West Virginia game, West Virginia at Iowa State, that will start at 3:30 on WKKX. And then if you are listening to the OSU Michigan game on VOY, as soon as that game's over, we'll go straight to the West Virginia game, and you'll pick that up in progress. So either way, you'll hear that. So VOY is the place to be. On Saturday, if you want good college sports. Sunday, the Browns at the Titans. That's on WKKX at 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then WVU basketball at Georgetown, 4:30 p.m., both stations. So do stay tuned to WKKX and WVLY for all of the local and college sports and professional sports that you're most interested in. So here we are, several weeks after the election, and the president has still not yet conceded. How about that, CJ? What do you think?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to think of it, what's going to happen. I mean,
yeah, I don't. It's unprecedented, isn't it? Yeah. There have been more than 30 lawsuits in 30 days that have all been lost by the president. I mean, you want to talk about the biggest loser, and I don't say this to gloat or anything. It's just a fact that he has not been able to launch a good legal challenge against any of the results. The president isn't stopping, though. He's got more lawsuits and appeals being filed every day. And he's raised $170 million since the campaign ended, and he can spend that any way he wants. Now, he's saying that he's going to spend it on legal fees. Maybe he is. I don't know. But he can keep that money. He can do whatever he wants with it. And we know he's got some major debts coming due. I don't think $170 million is going to take care of it. But that's the state of it right now. Everybody has said, officials all across the country have confirmed that the 2020 election vote was secure. And they have already, Biden's victories have already been confirmed in 6 of the most closely contested states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So, the Electoral College win is secured, and it will be formalized just a little bit later this month. Judges have continued to reject Trump's attempts so thoroughly over the past few weeks that they've shut down cases on nearly every question they've asked. One federal judge in Pennsylvania, Matthew Braun, wrote that he couldn't do what the Trump campaign and Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, wanted because it would be unconstitutional. A judge in Michigan, Timothy Kenney, explained point by point why witness statements suspecting fraud fell short. You can't just say, well, there was fraud, but I don't have any evidence. A judge on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court wrote in a concurring opinion last weekend, which denied a Republican attempt to throw out millions of absentee votes in the state, that the court shouldn't lend legitimacy to such transparent and ultimately efforts to subvert the will of Pennsylvania voters. And yet, Trump's dreams linger in court. Ongoing cases still look to push false narratives of fraud, often build on their disbelief of Biden support heavily in Democratic cities and unhappiness with absentee voting. Does not change the fact that Joe Biden won the presidential election, Donald Trump lost, and I just have one word, and this is not intended for people who voted for Trump. This is only intended for the president himself, because I know he listens to the show. Mr. Trump, you are a loser. Okay, that's it. It's not to, again. This is not to throw make fun of anybody who voted for Donald Trump or any of that stuff. This is not personal or anything. We all have our opinions and our preferences. But I have no use for Donald Trump, and I just want him to know that I think he is a loser, and I know that is the worst thing in his vocabulary. It's the worst thing you can call Donald Trump, as a loser, and he is a loser. I remember when my old friend Rush Limbaugh started doing his national program, that he constantly talked about Michael Dukakis as the loser. The loser. It was so obnoxious. I don't really want to fall into that, but I just can't help it. It's just Donald Trump. You're a loser. Okay, and the people who voted for Donald Trump, unfortunately, you're not losers, but you lost this election. That's all. You just lost this one. You might have won a lot of others. In fact, and by the way, just to remind you, I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. And I have voted for Republicans in the past, even for president, but not this one, not even close. So that's kind of where I stand on this thing. So what's going to be up for when Joe Biden takes over? How different is the country going to be? I don't know, not that much different. A little bit, though. For one thing, Biden says he's going to ask us to wear masks for his first 100 days. Now, the president, whether it's a Trump president or a Biden president, the president does not have the power to make you wear a mask. But he can ask it, and that's something that President Trump has not ever done. In fact, he's publicly disdained the idea of wearing masks. But Biden is going to ask that. He's going to be looking for cooperation from the CDC and from various state governments to try and get people to encourage people to wear masks. So that is one thing that's going to happen. In fact, the coronavirus pandemic has dominated Biden's transition, and the former vice president has acknowledged that it's going to do the same during his first entire year in office. He has asked Dr. Anthony Fauci, a member of Trump's coronavirus task force, to be a chief medical advisor and part of his, Biden's COVID-19 response team when his administration begins next month. And Fauci said, "Yes, please." So that's the plan. Biden asked him to stay on in the exact same role he's had for the past several presidents, and he also asked him to be a chief medical advisor for the president too. So that's good. I mean, if you're a Fauci fan, then it'll be nice to have that sort of consistency going through both administrations. Trump's fight with coronavirus recommendations has often put him at odds with Fauci. Those clashes have made Fauci the focus of public attention, often seen as a hero on the left for his commitment to science in the face of Trump's comments, and a villain on the right, especially among Trump's loyalists. So that's where we've sort of separated in our polarization. Are we pro-science or against science? I don't know. CJ, how do you line up on this? Pro-science, against science?
I mean, I stand with science.
Yes.
Because I feel like science has more evidence to have worked based on instead of someone's opinion.
Yeah.
But I am a little concerned about, I'll probably get the vaccine, but I'm a little concerned that they're offering money for anyone that gets the vaccine.
I think that's a little odd too, yeah.
I just don't know where they're coming from with that. Why they're offering money to those that get a vaccine.
I had not heard this until you brought this up.
There-
What's your source on
I
that?
saw, and I believe even Bill said it to me. I saw on the news that if you get the vaccine, you will get a stimulus check. I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Well, this must be new because the stimulus, in fact, Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell have just come up with an agreement in principle, not or in fact yet, but an agreement in principle to do some sort of a modest stimulus bill before the end of the year, which is very good news because a lot of people have really just missed they missed paying their rent just due 3 days ago now. The unemployment is about to expire for many of the people that got extensions. So that's all very good news. Were you able to find it? CJ's looking it up here. But that is concerning. I do plan to get the vaccine when it comes in, so long as the CDC endorses it and says that it's safe. That's good enough for me. In fact, former Presidents Obama, Bush, and Clinton have all volunteered to get the coronavirus vaccine publicly just to prove it's safe. So that should be a pretty good endorsement too. It's not just Obama and Clinton; it's George W. Bush too. So this isn't a political thing. This compromise package, the former vice president has also backed up the compromise coronavirus package that's being considered on Capitol Hill, calling it a good start, but it's not enough. Right now, what they're talking about is a $908 billion bipartisan plan. It's a compromise between what the Democrats and the Republicans want. Imagine that. Congress has finally put compromise back into their vocabulary. That's good. Something is better than nothing. Maybe we've got better things on the horizon here. Now, Biden said, "I understand the situation that they find themselves in, and until the election is clearly decided in the minds of when the Electoral College votes, those senators who have not yet committed are placed in a very tough position." In fact, this is a significant portion of the Republican leadership. It has yet to acknowledge the obvious, which is that Joe Biden will be president come January 20th. But whether or not Donald Trump attends the inauguration, basically, Biden said something that I've been saying for a while now. Who cares? Biden said that whether Trump was going to attend had no personal consequence to me, is what he said. So, in a sense, I mean, that's kind of saying, who cares, right? Yeah?
Yep.
CJ, you think?
Yep.
Yeah. So, did you find the source of that?
CNBC.
CNBC. Okay. Well, it's a credible source. So the thought is then that if you accept a vaccine, you will get stimulus money.
$1,500.
Okay.
$1,500 stimulus check.
Okay. And that's a similar amount to what was issued earlier this year. Then, what makes you suspicious about this then is the money for vaccine? What?
I just don't understand why they would ask, pay people to get a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't everyone allowed to get the stimulus check?
Yeah, regardless of
Yeah.
whether you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really see why it's tied together either. That just seems crazy. I mean, I understand that they're trying to encourage people to get
Yeah.
the vaccine, but it's two separate issues there, really. Certainly they're tied together in that the economy is tanked because of COVID, but it seems crazy to incentivize people with money. Really, it should be about your good health. Also, Biden talked yesterday too about other issues that he's going to be facing. Among them are the recent assassination of Iranian nuclear scientists who who, you know, whose death has been blamed by Iran on Israel and the United States. You know, Biden said that the bottom line is we can't allow Iran to get nuclear weapons. He has pulled out to get something stronger, but what have they done? Is what Trump says of Trump's dealings with Iran. He pulled out of the Iran deal. Biden said they've increased the ability for them to have nuclear material. They're moving closer to the ability to have enough materials for a nuclear weapon, and there's a missile issue. Biden said, all those things I think are going to be very difficult, but I know one thing, we cannot do this alone, and that's why we have to be a part of a larger group dealing not only with Iran, but also with Russia and China and a whole range of other issues. So again, the style difference is becoming clear. President Trump really liked unilateral agreements, in other words, just with the United States and other countries, whereas the trend has been before, not just with Democrats, but also with Republicans, to use multilateral negotiations. We have a call? Okay.
Yes, we do.
All right. Who do we have on the line?
Tom.
Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Butch. Lola sounds a bit funny today.
Yeah, she's got a little cold here.
Really? Hey, Moderna applied for a patent for the coronavirus vaccine
Right.
in March of 2019, before anybody even knew what the hell it was and stuff.
Is that right?
And whoever was in charge of that sort of thing, they said, you can't get a patent on a vaccine for something that's natural. And then they applied for it again, and then they did the same thing, you know, a couple of months later in June and July and stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a very, very strange thing. I had not been aware
Well,
of this.
But their delivery system they stole from somebody else. It's I don't know. I don't know that I would even trust the vaccine at this point and stuff. But
Yeah, I understand your reticence. This news broke in July, and a patent court has sided with the other side of the dispute, and raising concerns on the intellectual property dispute that could stymie their vaccine development, and it sent their stock very low. However, I'm not finding an update on this.
July of what year?
July of 2020.
No, but they had applied for it like over a year.
Over a year
before
before.
that.
That's amazing
Well,
to me that they would have a disease nobody'd heard of, and they were already.
Well, actually, in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, they'd been monkeying around with this thing, or should I say, batting around with this thing. These miners were getting it, not miners in this country necessarily, but they were getting this, and so they were filling around with this like 5 years ago, and giving it to prison inmates in jails and stuff, just experimenting and stuff. But then somehow to detect it, to make the test, they mixed it with a ferret or something of that nature, and that made it more virulent, a lot more contagious.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But, okay, I'm going way out on a limb here and stuff.
No,
but in any event, I'm not that likely to get this. I mean, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and my immune system's like on steroids and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I may have gotten it and not even known it and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's a possibility. Have you been tested?
Huh?
Have you been tested?
No.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. I'm not even the least bit sick. I'm just. I mean, it's dangerous, but I'm just not so sure it warrants all these vaccines and stuff. Honestly, I just don't. I don't know that we're going in the right direction and stuff.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate your perspective. I don't really agree. I think, though, there might be some concern for Moderna's particular vaccine in that it's the RNA, so it works a little bit differently. And so, if you have a scientific basis for wanting to sort of reject that and would rather go with the Pfizer.
I'd rather go for neither.
For neither, yeah.
Well, the government gave them billions and billions of dollars to do all this
Yes.
stuff, and yet they're going to turn a profit. You know, I mean,
yeah.
probably the tune of like a couple $100 per dose or something. If it when we break it all down and stuff. I'm just.
Yeah, I get your suspicion.
It's not so much a suspicion. No. Every time I turn on the TV, I'm sitting there looking at a Medicaid reimbursement commercial and stuff right now.
Yeah.
And I understand once you sign up with United Healthcare or something for Medicare, if you're over 65, then you're like stuck with them. It's kind of like switching your power company and stuff. And you know.
Yeah, yeah. And this is the season.
Well, okay, so the healthcare industry spends like $10 billion a year advertising all this stuff to us, whether it's a drug or whether it's this insurance company or something.
Yeah.
Would that money not be better spent just providing health care to people?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you there. That's crazy, the amount of...
there is so much money being pumped into Washington for all, you know, basically the Republicans, and the Democrats are all...
Yeah.
Hold up with it too. They're all getting money. It's like raining down. It's raining money,
Yeah.
and I just don't know that we're getting the bang for our buck. I mean, we're like the only country in the whole. The next 35 countries, they're all free countries and stuff. We're like the only one that does this to our people and stuff. And
yeah, it's true. We don't have free health care in this country, and or you know. We don't have tax-based, I guess would be a better way to put it, tax-based system of healthcare.
It just leaves me highly suspect. I mean, it's no coincidence that we've shut down like a third of our hospitals in the last 3 or 4 years and stuff. But
I get it.
I appreciate you let me get that off my chest. Who's the guy filling in for Lola?
That's CJ Rose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's been here before. He's just back from college, so we're glad to have him. And Lola will be back next week. So.
No. Well, I mean, I was just wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. Hey, Tom, thanks for calling
Bye.
so much. All right, you're listening to the Afternoon Drive on the Watchdog Radio Networks. This is Butch Maxwell hosting today, and when we come back, we will be meeting with P.D. Gregg of Ogilvy Institute's Towngate Theater and talking about their current production, A Christmas Carol. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. Charleston Mayor Amy Goodwin tells Metro News the man accused of fatally shooting a Charleston police officer will be charged with first-degree murder.
We are exploring all other avenues of additional charges for state and federal as well.
Officer Cassie Johnson was shot back on Tuesday answering what appeared to be a routine call. She died yesterday, a day after being removed from life support. The suspect, 38-year-old Joshua Phillips, was also wounded in the incident and is recovering from 2 gunshot wounds to his torso. Planning is underway for Officer Johnson's funeral that'll be held at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Mayor Goodwin says they will include full police honors and are working closely with her family to honor their wishes. A date is not yet set. Elsewhere in the news, state police and Wayne County deputies are engaged in a standoff this hour in a remote part of Wayne County. The suspect there is reportedly armed with a rifle in a situation that started as a domestic violence call. He is apparently holed up in a camper, refusing to surrender. Officials say there are no hostages. 13 West Virginia counties are red on today's COVID-19 statewide alert map. That is an indication of substantial transmission of the coronavirus in those counties. Officials say, however, under alternative metrics, 49 of the state's 55 counties would be red. Also today, a new pandemic high of 632 in the hospital, 169 in ICU, and 92 on ventilators. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Mountaineer football team returning to action tomorrow on the road at Iowa State. It's been 21 days since the Mountaineers played a game. Tony Caridi says it's hard to know if that'll be helpful or a hindrance.
That's the great unknown question with the unknown answer.
Kickoff at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. Metro News game day coverage on many of these stations at noon. Marshall will also be back in action tomorrow after a long layoff. They'll play their final home game against Rice with the kickoff at noon in Huntington. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doane Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doane Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doane Ford. Online at DoaneFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doane Ford.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic field.
Vaseline lotion.
Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
The afternoon drive continues with more news, sports, and talk on the Watchdog.
And welcome back to the afternoon drive with Butch Maxwell, along with CJ Rose, filling in for Lola Martin Miller, who will be back on Monday. And I know there are a lot of Lola fans out there. In fact, one of the great Lola fans is on the line with me right now. PD Gregg from Ogilvy Institute's Towngate Theater. Hey, PD, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Butch?
Great. Thank you for hanging on. I know you've been on hold for a little while here. And it's a busy day for you because this is opening night, right?
Yeah, this is opening night for a Christmas Carol radio show.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about this production, he said, as though he didn't know.
Well, the history of this particular script, our good friend Tom Stobart did this adaptation quite a while ago. I believe it was in the late 80s or early 90s when he first did the adaptation, and then it became a yearly production that we would do at the Cornerstone for a number of years. I'm thinking 6 or 8 years at least. Yeah. Then we also have performed it at least 2 other times here at the Towngate. It's a really nice, succinct telling of the story. It runs about an hour and 10 minutes or hour and 15 minutes. So it gives you all of the high points of a Christmas Carol, but it's not laborious. You're kind of in, you're out, nobody gets hurt. But it is a radio show, so that means that the performers will be reading from scripts in the style of like a 1940s radio drama. And we will also have live sound effects. Now, normally when we do this, we also incorporate live music, but because of the COVID restrictions, we weren't able to do that this year. Yeah. But instead, we have several recordings that we are utilizing, including ones of the actual cast members singing Christmas carols.
Oh, nice.
So in the past, they would have sung them live, but we're not able to do that at present. So what we did was at a rehearsal, we just recorded them singing them, and then we'll add those in playback during the performance.
Ah, okay, good. Now this is really kind of visually kind of a stunning thing. Even though you've got actors just standing up there talking or reading, you're going to some. This is still theater, right? I mean, you're
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Well, as I told the cast when we first got started, the way they need to think about what we're doing, we're setting. We do have to wear masks, obviously, but except for the mask, we are setting it as if it is being performed in 1945 on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So we've added a lot of little bits that are kind of each actor is a 1940s character, and then they also perform the characters that they perform in the story of A Christmas Carol.
So you've asked that not only to them to take on the character in the Christmas Carol, but on top of that, to think of themselves as a 1945 radio actor. Is that
Right,
Yeah.
and we tried to give them some business. Like we have a couple of actors that we told them to play it when they're entering as if they are some big-time New York radio performers that have been brought in to play a couple of parts, and it creates kind of a stir. There are just a lot of little things like that to kind of show the level between when you're performing in radio. It really doesn't matter what you look like.
Yeah.
Because typically there's no one watching you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it has to sound professional and execute the story, but there can be other things going on at the same time, which the audience, I think, will appreciate.
Yeah. Now, Stobert's adaptation, I'm familiar with it because I was actually in at least one production of this in the 90s. But it's as you mentioned, it's pretty succinct. The original work, a lot of people are very familiar with A Christmas Carol, but maybe have never actually read the thing. It's actually pretty brief. It's a novella. I think it's like 200 pages or something like that.
Right.
But Stobert was very faithful, I think, to the original, and doesn't embellish it with a whole lot of extra characters. I've seen productions in which they've added 13 Cratchit children and just a whole lot of stuff. And he did a pretty good job of making it very efficient and really getting right to the point of this. And it's basically a story of redemption, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is a story of redemption. And as you say, Tom did a marvelous job of paring it down without losing any of the key moments. Most people who have seen one or several different versions of A Christmas Carol, there are certain lines they're waiting to hear.
Yes.
And those lines are all there.
Yes. You want to hear the line about I can't quote it because I haven't seen it in a year, but are there no poorhouses, etc.
Right.
And, some of those things.
Yeah. If they're going to die, they best be to it and decrease the surplus population.
Yes, which of course then one of the ghosts brings back to him too. I think it was Ghost of Christmas Present. So as in casting this, then it must have been a different sort of challenge for you. Did you mostly cast by voice rather than worry at all about what the actors looked like? Or?
Oh yeah, I definitely cast by voice. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I probably it was probably a bit off-putting for our regular actors, but during the audition process, there were, I would say, maybe a third of the time, I had my eyes closed.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because I didn't want what they were physically doing to color my judgment. I
Sure.
wanted to go by their voices.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know one of the things that I really enjoyed. One time I got to be on what they call the Foley, which is the sound effects, right? Essentially.
Right.
And that's just so much fun because you've got doors opening and shutting, you've got wind blowing, you've got the effects of the clock going off, things like that. Can you name some others that you guys do?
Oh, Marley's Chains, the sound of footsteps going up and down staircases.
Yeah.
Dishes rattling, glasses clinking.
And you get to see all this. And are you miking these things, or are they just going to be
No,
ambient?
it's just the Foley artists performing live.
Okay.
And our Foley artists this time around are Isaac Sawyer, who you may I'm not sure if you have worked with him before, but he's Justin's youngest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And Noah Hilton, who does a lot of Foley work with Pete Fernbaugh. So we kind of got one of the big guns.
Yes, yes. Pete does radio dramas, fairly regularly with the Cloak and Dagger company out of northern West Virginia, and he does some amazing things. In fact, I had Pete on the show a few months back as he was beginning to put together another production. So who else is in this production?
Okay, well, I'll just go down the list.
Good idea. That way you don't miss somebody.
Right. Robert Gaudio is playing Scrooge. My wife, Dee Gregg, is playing the narrator. John Riley is playing Marley. Justin Sawyer is playing Fezziwig.
Perfect casting there, I think.
And also Christmas Present.
Okay, yeah.
Evan Oslin is playing the nephew.
Mm-hmm. Fred.
Amanda Lee is playing Christmas Past and Tiny Tim.
Oh, okay.
David Yeager is playing Cratchit.
Mm-hmm.
Claire McDonald is playing Mrs. Cratchit. And then we have a new father-daughter combination of people who hadn't done anything with us before. Jamie and Morgan Hamilton. Jamie is playing Topper, and he is also the announcer and one of the Cratchit children. Okay. Morgan is the waitress. The nephew's wife, and also one of the Cratchit children. Gail Yadad is playing Martha Cratchit, and she is also young Scrooge's girlfriend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Belle, right? Belle was her name, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
but in this particular script, she's not named.
Oh, okay, all right.
Rob DeSantis is playing man number one and the solicitor, and Wayne McCord is playing the caroler boy at the beginning, and young Scrooge, and also the boy that goes to get the turkey at the end.
Ah, yes, yeah.
And that's one of the examples of casting by what they sound like versus what they actually are. Because I don't know what Wayne's specific age is, but let's just say that he is definitely north of 30.
Yes, yes, he is.
And all of the characters he's playing are south of 30.
Yes, yeah. That's good, though. You've got that sort of adolescent voice, or you can affect that adolescent voice, and that'll work for you. Yeah, that's really great.
Well, and that's one of the things with Amanda Lee playing Tiny Tim. She just did this delight. I mean, it just sounds like this little boy voice story she's using as the Ghost of Christmas Past, and it's just delightful.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun to be able to watch these actors impersonate and embody these different characters, the same actor coming out and doing different characters. How many in the cast total? I didn't really get a count as you were.
There are 13 in the cast plus the 2 Foley artists.
Yeah, all right. So that's a relatively small cast for a Christmas production, and it needs to be. Social distancing. What does I know I was able to attend a Town Gate show earlier this year in which the Future Here, you also directed that one, and it was everybody was appropriately distanced. I never felt at all like we were in any serious jeopardy. Also because that production was less than an hour, and this is just barely over an hour. So again, you're being inside over a long period of time puts us in greater danger. But if we're physically distanced and we're wearing masks, then we believe that we're going to be reasonably safe. So can you talk a little bit about what Towngate is doing?
Yes, certainly. We have gone to great lengths to ensure that that everyone is safe, both our audience and our performers. There was a mandate from the state that we were able to do theater, but masks must be worn and social distancing needs to be observed by the actors and the audience.
Yeah.
So the actors are all spaced out. They will all be wearing masks. One of the big changes for the Towngate this year is all tickets need to be reserved in advance because we need to have the opportunity to seat everyone so that there is the proper social distancing between everyone. And when you come, you need to sit in your assigned seat. You can't go, oh, well, there's a couple seats over there. I'll just slide over here. It's like, no.
which is what I always do until now. So,
Believe me, you're not the only one.
There are different times, but I'm glad we're able to do this.
Yeah, so I mean, we have those things in place. Our cleaning person, Dominique, is incredibly thorough after every performance of treating all of the theater seats, treating all of the seats on the stage, treating the bathrooms, and treating the lobby area and everything else. And then just recently, the parents from the Ogilvy Institute School of Dance had purchased one of those ion guns from Panhandle.
Oh, yeah.
And they have very generously loaned that to us to help make our disinfecting even more thorough than it had been already.
Yeah.
So we do take this very seriously. If for no other reason, then it's not about how we may feel about it one way or the other, but we've been given very, very strict guidelines from both the state and from the Ohio County Board of Health. And if we do not follow them, they will shut us down.
Yeah.
So if we want to continue to be able to do performances, we really have to abide by the letter of the law.
Yeah.
One other change that we've made just because of how things have spiked in Ohio County recently, we will not be offering concessions for this production. Okay. We don't want to give anybody any excuse to have to take their mask off. And if you can't have a pop to sip on, then you can keep your mask in place. And again, it's an hour and 10 minutes. We're not talking about some kind of 3.5-hour marathon.
Yeah, like the play I directed a couple years ago.
That comes to mind.
Yes.
But I did want to just let everyone know the dates and times and the contact information.
Yeah.
It's tonight, tomorrow, and those shows are at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, okay. Yeah, that's a little different. So please note that. It's not 8, it's 7.
It's 7. Sunday is at 3. And then the 11th and 12th, that's next Friday and Saturday. Those shows are also at 7.
Okay.
Now, tickets are $12.50 unless you're an Ogilvy Institute member, and then they are $11. Okay. If you are a student, please identify yourself when you're registering for tickets, and they will give you student tickets for half the full price, which is $625.
Nice.
Because we do like to encourage our young people to come out and give theater a try.
Yes, good, very good. And then how would they make those reservations, PD?
Okay, the best way is to actually call the Stifel Fine Arts Center. Rachel will be there until 5 today. Okay. There'll be someone there from 10 until 4 tomorrow, and then Monday through Friday at 5 next week, and 10 until 4 next Saturday. The phone number is 304-242-7700.
Yes. Pretty easy number to remember. 242-7700. Yeah.
Right. Now, if you've ordered tickets from us online before, you can also do that. It's www.oionline.com. But I will caution you that our website is a little tricky to navigate if you're doing it for the first time. So I would strongly encourage anyone to just go ahead and call Rachel. She'll hook you right up.
Yeah. You say, hi, Rachel, when she answers. You know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, very good. So, Ogilvy Institute's Towngate Theater's presentation of A Christmas Carol, adapted by Tom Stobart, as a radio drama that is being staged, that premieres tonight at 7 o'clock at Ogilvy Institute's Towngate Theater, also tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and Sunday at 3, also next Friday and Saturday at 7 o'clock. To make your reservations, call 304-242-7700. And don't miss this because it is so much fun. I've really had it. And what great casting. What a great cast you've got there. It should be just a delightful evening.
Yeah, they're really doing a super job, and they're just all really good people and very talented actors. So it's
Please come out and support live local entertainment. We get so little of it right now, so just a little bit of it is nice to have, and we really appreciate everything that Ogilvy Institute does for this community. And I thank you very much, PD, for calling in today. I know it's a busy day for you. But I wish you, can I say good luck to a director? I think,
you can get away with that.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and break a leg to all the cast.
All right, and thank you so much for the opportunity to get the word out that we're doing it.
Sure. Thank you, PD. All right.
All right.
Okay, that's a wrap for this hour. We'll be right back with after some news with a little bit more information, a little bit more of me just complaining and stuff, and I've got another guest coming up at 3:30, so do stick around. You're listening to The Afternoon Drive on the Watchdog with host Butch Maxwell.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
19 was reported in the United States. The CDC said the number of new infections is reaching daily highs. So as the country awaits a vaccine, the CDC renewed its push for consistent and correct use of face masks, physical distancing, increased air ventilation, and avoiding non-essential indoor spaces and crowded outdoor settings. No single strategy can control the pandemic, the CDC said, as it called for a multi-pronged approach using all evidence-based strategies to break the chain of transmission. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
President-elect Joe Biden says he'll ask Americans to mask up for the first 100 days he's in office, and he's asked Dr. Anthony Fauci to stay on in his role. The next challenge, building trust for a vaccine. ABC's Mary Bruce has more.
3 former presidents, Clinton, Bush, and Obama, all say they're willing to be vaccinated on camera before the American people. Biden now promising to do the same.
It's important to communicate to the American people it's safe. It's safe to do this.
But Biden is stressing that the rollout will be a monumental challenge and says his administration can't do it alone.
And that's why we're continuing to hope that the Senate does something and responds to the immediate need to provide dollars.
Lawmakers making some headway on a new bipartisan stimulus package. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says there's urgency to get a deal done in the coming weeks.
There is momentum. with the action that the senators and House members in a bipartisan way have taken with them. It could provide meaningful relief for millions who are suffering.
Job hires slowed in November. The Labor Department showing 245,000 jobs were added. That's fewer than expected, not enough to keep pace with the millions that lost jobs in this pandemic. You're listening to ABC News.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Looking for the perfect present? Then head to the perfect place. Stomp by your neighborhood Ace and find the best gifts from brands like Steel, Eagle, and Milwaukee, or Traeger, Weber, and Yeti. And to help make sure your gifts are under your tree on time, you can shop in-store, online, or on the Ace app. Pick up in-store, curbside, or get them delivered. Get amazing deals on the best gifts when you wrap it in red at Ace at participating stores.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
In Texas, a human smuggling investigation underway after a man running down a street and yelling for help eventually led to a troubling discovery for police.
The man in his underwear led police to a house where 24 other people were being held against their will, also in their underwear. Houston Police Lieutenant Jose Torres says the smugglers apparently stripped down and tried to blend in with their victims.
We pulled out the ones that looked clean, that still had their jewelry. Most people were dirty and they didn't have jewelry on. These few people did.
The smuggling victims were from Mexico, Honduras, and China. They'd been in the house for a few days, some for a week. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The NHL and the Players Association in talks over the start of its season. Here's ESPN's Emily Kaplan.
The NHL is still aiming to get its season off the ground in January, but there hasn't been much progress thanks to a stalemate between the NHL and NHLPA. Owners, understanding they're going to take massive hits if they start the season with limited or no fans, have asked players to make tweaks to their financial agreement, including deferring more salary beyond the 10% already agreed to this summer.
It's not a big surprise, but no fans will be allowed at the Rose Bowl for the college football playoff semifinal, January 1st. The Tournament of Roses says it's requested special permission to allow a limited number of spectators at the stadium, but was denied due to COVID-19 restrictions. This is ABC News.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Does your company's website work for you? Is it helping attract new clients and improving your brand awareness? If not, or you don't know, contact the team at Omni Strategic Technologies. With expert web developers, they build amazing web experiences that help their clients perform better. Contact Omni at 304-242-7600 or visit them at www.omniperforms.com.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Considerable cloud cover with a rain shower on and off through the day, a high near 45. Overnight low of 34 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. A cloudy Saturday in store with temperatures in the lower 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors. From the Watchdog, this is the Afternoon Drive with live and local issues, guests, and conversations.
You can call me if you want. My name is Butch Maxwell, and I'm hosting the Afternoon Drive here on the Watchdog Network. And if you would like to call in, you're always welcome to. It's 304-214-1600. Yeah, I got it out. This just came in thanks to my guest producer, CJ Rose, here today. Effective Monday, December 7th, all City of Wheeling offices will be that are located in the City-County building will be closed to the public until further notice. This is in response to the increase in positive cases of COVID-19 in Ohio County. Offices will remain staffed, and if needed, you can make an appointment, but you can't just walk in. The police department will remain open. Walk-in reports are discouraged, though, and all reports should be filed via telephone. You want to call, if you need to call the police on something that's routine or something like that, then call 304-234-3664. But for emergencies, of course, call 911. Wheeling residents who need to pay utility bills or parking tickets should do so by using the payment drop box that's outside, or it's inside the first set of doors in the main entrance of the City-County building. So you'll see it. It's very clearly marked. You don't have to go to the security to access it, and you can also make payments by mail or online. And that address is municipalonlinepayments.com/Wheeling. So you can do that. And again, if you need an appointment, then call the City-County building and set up that appointment. But you won't be able to walk into the City-County building for the time being. So, this is just, another symptom of what we're dealing with here. Ohio County is in the red, and I think, what did you tell me, that who else moved up into the red, CJ?
Hancock County just moved into the red this morning, along with Marsh County, who's been in the red.
Yeah, they've been in the red for a while, and Ohio County has been for about a week, I think, now. Tough times. However, even though there are very, very difficult times for us locally because of the coronavirus, there are things going on. We just talked to P.D. Gregg at Ogilvy Institute's Towngate Theater about a production they're doing of A Christmas Carol, which starts tonight in a very socially distanced, safe manner. And you can make your reservations by calling 304-242-7700. There's something else too. The Wheeling Symphony hasn't completely disappeared either. They're going to be returning in about a week. Next Thursday evening, they're going to hold a Christmas concert, and that will be something that you can attend virtually. It's all going to be offered online. There's going to be a guest soloist, and in fact, they're going to just be specializing in holiday music. So it's actually not going to be live, but you can watch it on WTRF next Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking to PD earlier is this radio station has generally broadcast a tape version of A Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve. And I forgot to ask him if we were going to do that. And I actually probably should have known, being that I'm part of this radio station, but I'm not really sure. I think that may be in the works, but he would have known, and I'm sorry I failed you, Ohio Valley. I don't know whether or not we're actually going to carry it. But I bet we are. I bet we are. And I'm going to stay tuned, and I'll let you know, because I'll be back here on the air and in the chair on the air on Monday, if all things go the way we expect them to go. So I'll let you know about that little programming tidbit when I get definitive information. However, there's nothing like seeing a show live. So if you can go see it live, you feel safe doing it. You're going to wear a mask and stay distant and everything else. Then you can certainly do that. I wanted to talk about pardons. People are going all around. All of a sudden, the White House has become very, very polite because people are just walking over to the president saying, "Pardon me, pardon me, pardon me," and I think he might be doing it too. This has been a big concern over the last few days, that Trump is considering preemptive pardons for his adult children and also for his lawyer, in quotes, Rudy Giuliani, in addition to a possible preemptive pardon for himself. Biden said the possible pardons concern him because of the kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. And Biden said that his Justice Department will operate independently on those issues. And though he didn't really say a lot about whether or not, what he would do. In fact, there isn't anything that he could do if President Trump would decide to preemptively pardon people. Whether or not the president can actually pardon himself remains an open question. It's never really been tested constitutionally. It seems to me that would just fly in the face of everything that we hold sacred in this country, that a president cannot pardon himself, you could just go break the law and then say, well, I'm pardoned myself. I just can't imagine that would be upheld in the Supreme Court. However, the Supreme Court's pretty well stacked in favor of Trump people. 3 of the people sitting on the court right now on the bench are justices that have been appointed by President Donald Trump. And, who knows whether loyalty will prevail or a sense of duty to what seems to be right. I think what most people would think is right. So I guess we're going to have to see on that. And that's the kind of thing that Donald Trump loves. Because remember, above all else, he's a reality TV show host. So what he likes us to do is to speculate, just as I'm doing now, and stay tuned, that sort of thing. It's pretty much a standard ploy. So yeah, I mean that's all we can do is sort of stay tuned. So let's talk about Biden a little bit too. Well, wait a minute. Let's have you weigh in on this, CJ. What do you think about the pardon situation?
I honestly I'm blinded by it. Like, I don't know that much about it.
Okay.
Really.
All right. Well, the president has a constitutional right and privilege to pardon anybody that he sees fit. And the big question is, the thing is, here's the thing about a pardon. If you pardon somebody, then they are essentially admitting that they committed a crime. If they accept that pardon. So if he's going to pardon, Jared Kushner, Ivanka, Don Jr. and Eric and Rudy, then he must feel as though they've done something that's illegal, and they need that. So I don't know. And the other thing that happens too, once you once you've been pardoned, you have given up your First Amendment rights. Your Fifth Amendment rights. I'm sorry, Fifth Amendment. That means the right to not testify against yourself because you've already got immunity. Therefore, you can't actually incriminate yourself. Therefore, you can be compelled to testify. So Trump better pardon everybody in his entire administration who has ever done anything wrong, or there's still going to be heads roll. And also remember that the pardon only affects national or federal laws. So any federal law violation, yes, you can be pardoned for that. State law violations, not so much, not at all, in fact. So the state of New York is kind of chasing after Giuliani and Trump himself, and maybe some other people in the Trump family, and they're not going to be immune from prosecution from any individual state at all. So we'll have to see how that goes. That might get in President Trump's plans for his 2024 reelection if he's actually in jail. Biden continues to put together his cabinet, and it looks very diverse. He's got black people and brown people and Jewish people and lots of female people, and a few Caucasian people too. Basically, he's trying to fulfill his commitment that the administration in the White House and the cabinet are going to look a lot like the country. Of course, every time any politician does something like this, there's going to be controversy. Right now, there has been some ideological backlash from the left wing of the Democratic Party, saying, there's not enough, we don't have enough of the AOC people or something of the Bernie Sanders wing of the party represented. The fact is, Joe Biden was a moderate. He won probably because he's a moderate. He's probably not going to have a very left-wing radical agenda in his administration. So to expect that Bernie Sanders would become the Treasury Secretary or something is just not realistic for a number of reasons. One thing, you don't want to pull out Senator Warren or Senator Harris out of a very, very tight Senate, a tightly controlled Senate. Right now we've got a split of, actually at this moment it's tied. It's 48-48, but in the state of Georgia, there are 2 senators that are going to be elected in January, and if they're both Republican, then it's Republican-controlled Senate. If they're both Democrat, then it's 50-50, and Kamala Harris, the vice president, is the president of the Senate, then could break all ties. So it becomes a Democratic-controlled Senate. But getting 2 senators elected in Georgia, 2 Democrat senators elected, seems pretty unlikely. It seems like a pretty far-fetched thing. So if that's the case, then Biden's not going to have carte blanche to do what he wants in this country, because Mitch McConnell very famously obstructed just about everything that Barack Obama wanted to do when he was president. And Mitch McConnell said, even before Obama took office, that his number 1 priority was making Obama a one-term president, something he failed to do. But he did succeed in doing an awful lot of things, like packing the federal benches, the federal courts, with a whole lot of Republicans. He refused to allow the Democrats to place any federal judges during the last several years of the Obama administration. None, 0. And then Trump had a bounty, so he's placed far more federal judges than any president in recent history. So, in a sense, well, McConnell didn't succeed in making sure that Obama was a one-term president. He did succeed in stopping any legislation. The Democrats took control of the House in 2018, and they have been able to pass very, very little, because everything that they have, well, they pass things, but they've gone over to the Senate, and McConnell has refused to take them up. Now, McConnell says it's because he knows Trump won't sign it. Therefore, why should he even give it a debate, which seems very undemocratic to me. But that's been his story. So if that's the case, well, he's not going to have that excuse once Biden's is the president. So he's going to have to take responsibility for being an obstructionist, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see about that. See how that comes out. You have any thoughts on the Senate race in Georgia, CJ?
I kind of agree with you there too, with Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think he's going to want Biden out after one term too.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. And I don't know. Biden's pretty old. a lot of people have said, maybe Biden should even just say, I'm going to be a one-term president. That's what I want to do. I want to sort of write the course of this country and then turn it over to the next generation. But he hasn't said that, so we don't know. I mean, he'll be 82 when he'd be up for re-election. So that we've never had a president that old. We've never had a president as old as Joe Biden take office yet. So this is all new grounds. I think, as far as the Georgia election goes, I think that the prospects for the Democrats, as I mentioned before, are pretty poor. But I think that it is possible that they may get at least one of those senators elected. And if I were to choose which of the two, I would say give me the minister. I think he's probably got a little bit better shot at it. He had preaches still at the church that was Martin Luther King was in. So I think that he has a certain advantage in that way. But really, it's not much of an advantage because in Georgia, it's very difficult to be elected to public office, or especially to a statewide or a national office, because it's just in the past 30 years, it's just been very, very Republican. So we'll see. We'll see about that. The number of other things that have come up that I think are kind of interesting here, insofar as where we are. Did you know the song Lola? I can talk about this since Lola's not here today. So you know that song, Lola?
No.
You don't? It was a Kinks song. It was released 50 years ago today. And Lola, the song, I'll tell you what, why don't you cue that up and we'll play that as a bumper song, because it's a great song. Lola doesn't like it because I think for years she's been taunted with it. But it's, it's a very cool song. It's sort of embraced gender fluidity very early on. Some of the couplets in the song go, girls will be boys and boys will be girls. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world, except for Lola. And he rhymes Lola with Coca-Cola. It was actually one of the Kinks' very biggest hits, and it came out in a time when, this was 1970 when this came out, 1970, 50 years ago. And at the time, homosexuality was outlawed in the United Kingdom. You could go to jail for it. And it was 2 years before the nation even had its first gay pride rally. Ray Davis, the author of the song, is himself not gay. And really, it may be slightly misplaced even talking about gay and the theme of this song, because this is about an encounter that the singer makes with a woman who turns out to be a man, and so that's that maybe is cross-dressing or transvestitism or something. It's not the same as sexual preference. These are completely different things. It may seem related, but there are a lot of people who are gay who would never cross-dress, and there are a lot of cross-dressers who really don't want to have sex with the same gender that they are. So they're just two very different things. Something I didn't know for a very long time either, but it's true. Anyway, Lola, 50 years old today. I think that's wonderful. Lola, the song, not the producer. And really, the Kinks were just one of my favorite bands from the 60s, along with, of course, the Beatles and the Stones and the Who. The Kinks were right up there. They had so many great albums. They actually did the very first concept album, or rock opera, if you want to call it. It was called Arthur, or The Decline and Fall of the British Empire. And they had another concept album called The Kinks Are the Village Green Preservation Society. So Ray Davis was kind of an amazing guy. And, and yet he was mostly known for, and has been mostly known for, some of the songs like You Really Got Me, and All of the Day and All of the Night. And, they had a number of different hits over the years, but that was one of their big ones. A few years after Lola came out, in fact, a similar theme in pop music came up from Lou Reed, the late Lou Reed, who did a song called Walk on the Wild Side with a kind of a similar idea. And then later in the 70s, Davis wrote a song called Out of the Wardrobe about a straight man who likes to cross-dress. So, that's it's kind of a thing. It's kind of interesting. And regardless of what you think about gender identity or anything like that, it's a great song, and so tribute to the Kinks' Lola. You got that queued up now?
I met her in the club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. C-O-L-A cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name and in a dark brown voice she said Lola. L-O-L-A Lola. Lola, Lola, Lola. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh, my Lola. Lola, Lola, Lola. Well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walked like a woman but talk like a man. Oh, my Lola. Lola, Lola, Lola. Lola, Lola, Lola. Well, we drank champagne and danced all night under electric candlelight. She picked me up and slapped me on the knee and said, little boy, won't you come on with me? Well, I'm not the world's most passionate guy, but when I looked in her eyes, well, I almost fell for my Lola. La, 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 la. La, 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 la.
Okay, well, happy birthday to Ray Davis' song by the Kinks, Lola. 50 years ago today, that song came out, and what a great song it is. All right, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I've got Karen Guerrero-Hott of the Seeing Hands Association, and she's going to tell us about a local fundraiser that they're doing to help out people who are challenged with vision. So I look forward to that. You're listening to The Afternoon Drive with guest host Butch Maxwell, and we'll be right back after these messages.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. Charleston Mayor Amy Goodwin tells Metro News the man accused of fatally shooting a Charleston police officer will be charged with first-degree murder.
We are exploring all other avenues of additional charges for state and federal as well.
Officer Cassie Johnson was shot back on Tuesday answering what appeared to be a routine call. She died yesterday, a day after being removed from life support. The suspect, 38-year-old Joshua Phillips, was also wounded in the incident and is recovering from 2 gunshot wounds to his torso. Planning is underway for Officer Johnson's funeral that'll be held at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Mayor Goodwin says they will include full police honors and are working closely with her family to honor their wishes. A date is not yet set. Elsewhere in the news, state police and Wayne County deputies are engaged in a standoff this hour in a remote part of Wayne County. The suspect there is reportedly armed with a rifle in a situation that started as a domestic violence call. He is apparently holed up in a camper, refusing to surrender. Officials say there are no hostages. 13 West Virginia counties are red on today's COVID-19 statewide alert map. That is an indication of substantial transmission of the coronavirus in those counties. Officials say, however, under alternative metrics, 49 of the state's 55 counties would be red. Also today, a new pandemic high of 632 in the hospital, 169 in ICU, and 92 on ventilators. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Mountaineer football team returning to action tomorrow on the road at Iowa State. It's been 21 days since the Mountaineers played a game. Tony Caridi says it's hard to know if that'll be helpful or a hindrance.
That's the great unknown question with the unknown answer.
Kickoff at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. Metro News game day coverage on many of these stations at noon. Marshall will also be back in action tomorrow after a long layoff. They'll play their final home game against Rice with the kickoff at noon in Huntington. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Your friends, the members of Roofers Union Local 188 in Wheeling, remind you that in 1 hour you can donate 1 unit of blood. That can be separated into 4 individual components that could help save multiple lives. This message from all the great and caring folks, the members of Roofers Union Local 188 out of Wheeling, representing licensed, bonded, and insured roofers for all residential and commercial projects. That's Roofers Union Local 188, wishing you and your family a healthy and happy season.
Throughout the Ohio Valley, back to school is looking different. Each day, parents, teachers, students, coaches, and administrators are finding solutions to situations that are unprecedented. All of us at the Highlands appreciate everything you are doing and are here for the items you need. Visit hitthehighlands.com for the current guidelines and updated contact information of our retailers and restaurants.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey! Hey, buddy! Yeah! You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go, 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure, I mean, you being a mountain climber and all.
Yep.
You probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Mountaineer football team trying to figure out a way to handle the size of the Cyclones. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi. That story coming up on today's Mountaineer Report.
Did you know that 1 in 8 Americans struggle with hunger? Yet more than 40% of the food we produce is thrown out. At Kroger, we know we can do something about this. We're donating more food to local food banks through our partnership with Feeding America. And we're working with World Wildlife Fund to end food waste. But we can't do it alone. And we hope you'll join us in creating a world with zero hunger and zero waste. Visit thekrogerco.com to learn how you can help.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on backyard favorites like grill-ready hamburgers and fresh-picked strawberries? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, plus rewards like fuel points, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Travel day for the Mountaineer football team. West Virginia getting ready for tomorrow afternoon's game against Iowa State. The Cyclones are unique in a bunch of different ways, but specifically on offense, where they are tight end heavy. They'll use 2 tight ends almost the entire game, and oftentimes you'll see 3 tight ends. And one thing about those tight ends, they are big, 6'6", 6 feet 7 inches tall. That raises the question for WVU defensive assistant, how do you defend against players so big?
Win and win early and don't get caught behind them. You've got to do a nice job of really just being physical, putting guys underneath and on top of them, and then just challenging the route. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be all about the competitive spirit at the end of the route, finishing the play. Not necessarily what gets you there, but the getting the ball out or making a play on the ball. That's key when you're playing a bigger type unit. And these guys, all 3 of them, are lengthy, big, have the ability to locate, catch the ball in the air. And that's why they are what they have been this year. They've been really damn good. And we're going to have to face the same challenge that every other team in the conference has. which is to try to go up and make plays on those guys.
Kickoff tomorrow afternoon, 3:30. Our pregame coverage here on the Mountaineer Sports Network will begin at high noon with the Go-Mart Mountaineer Tailgate Show. On Sunday, the Mountaineer basketball team on the road to play at Georgetown inside tiny McDonough Arena. This will be the 53rd meeting all-time between these two schools. Last time West Virginia played Georgetown, March of 2014, same arena. It was the Hoyas, a 77-65 victory, but West Virginia had won the previous 5 in a row. That is today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Live and local conversation continues. This is the Afternoon Drive on the Watchdog.
Yeah, you got satin shoes. Yeah, you got nasty boots. Y'all got cocaine eyes. Yeah, you got sleepy giant. Can hear me knocking on the window.
And if you hear me knocking, you know it's time for the afternoon drive. Butch Maxwell sitting in here today, along with producer CJ Rose. CJ just asked me, "Are you okay with the Stones?" I said, "Yeah." "What's your favorite Stone song?" And that was it. That was it. Thank you, buddy. I
Yep,
appreciate
no problem.
that. Yep. It gets on. It goes. It plays for a long time. Good jam. Good jam. Hey, on the line now, I've got Karen Gerard-Hott of the Seeing Hands Association. Hi, Karen. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Thank you for hanging in. I know that's kind of a long break. We do sports on that 3:30 break, and I forgot to tell you about that, but I appreciate your hanging in. I had noticed just the other day that you had posted something on Facebook that really caught my attention, and that is something that you're doing with the Seeing Hands Association.
That's right. I think you're referring to our December virtual fundraiser, Sing for Sight. Is that correct?
Sing for Sight. Yes, I like the idea, and it reminds me a lot of the sort of viral phenomenon that we got with the ACLS challenge some years ago.
Well, I took that challenge years ago, and that was one of the things that prompted me to try to come creative with something for online.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you a very brief background. Our organization helps blind and visually impaired individuals in Wheeling. We've been around since 1946, and everybody has had a challenging year, but one of the things that nonprofits have been faced with is not being able to have in-person fundraisers. In the spring, we usually have dueling pianos. In the fall, we have our largest fundraiser of all, which is a steak fry for camp, and some other ones, and we haven't been able to do those. So I come from the music business, spent 26 years in a family music business, and I have a lot of friends in the field, and I thought, how fun would it be if I could figure out something to combine my love for music with our mission? And after a little bit of brainstorming, I thought, well, I don't know if this will work or not, because I don't know how brave people are going to be to do it, but came up with the idea of Sing for Sight, and it's going to run December 1st to January 1st.
Okay, yeah. So it's in progress right now, and you're asking people to sing a verse of a Christmas carol, Jingle Bells or Silent Night or Deck the Halls. Is that right? Something like that?
That's right. Those three are public domain, so we just wanted to make sure that when we did it, we didn't have any problems with the songs that they were singing. So that's why it was limited to those three songs. And the challenge is sing a verse and a chorus if you want to of one of those songs. If you're talented enough to play a musical instrument, like I don't know if you guys know my friend Rose Angelico, but she's a recording artist, and she played her guitar and sang. You're welcome to do that with it. And basically, you post a video on your Facebook page, and then you challenge 5 of your friends to participate. If they participate, then they post a video and share it. And if they don't participate, it's our hope that they'll donate $10 to our cause to support our programs.
Yeah, that's great. And and even if they do, maybe they could give you $10 or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what a great idea. So yeah, basically you're going to make a little video, and you can do this on your camera or your webcam or something like that, and just sing a song, play it if you can. Maybe come up with something creative. Keep it a song in public domain, and the ones she suggests are all good. Jingle Bells, Silent Night, Deck the Halls. But I suppose there are others, right?
Oh, there's many. I
Yeah.
just didn't want to have to post a long list. And if
Right,
they want
right.
to research a public domain song and do that, that's fine.
I think Good King Wenceslas is in here, something like that. Yeah. So, but whatever you want to sing, but you're doing this in order to help out a local agency who has been kind of strapped for cash because your normal revenue is not coming in from your in-person fundraisers. So you're hoping to get this will spread all over the country. Is that right?
That's the goal. We didn't want to do, if we were going to go online, we didn't want to do something that was limited to local.
Yeah.
So I do have friends all over the country. I have a couple friends in Nashville that said they would do it. Rose uploaded it. I'm still waiting on a few, but some friends in Florida that said they might consider it. It's not limited to the High Valley. It has the potential to be really super fun and creative. Like my friend says she's going to dress up as an elf this weekend and do it. So I hope that she does that, and it'll be really fun. And kind of a sweet thing, my father is in a nursing home, and he's very musical, and I was telling him about it yesterday. He said, gosh, I just really wish I could participate. It would be fun. And, of course, they're on lockdown, and you can't go see them or do anything. But I was going through my videos last night, and I found a video of him playing my piano 2 years ago at my house. And he's playing a song that is public domain. So I asked him if he'd care if I would post it. So that's going to be coming up in the next couple of days, too. And it's pretty heartwarming.
That's great. If people would, how can people participate in this? What can they do?
Well, the easiest thing to do is if you have a Facebook account, go to the Seeing Hand, which we have our own Seeing Hand Association. We have our own Facebook page. On there, first of all, like our page, and then on there you'll see the Sing for Sight challenge. So share that challenge to your wall, post your video if you're going to sing, and then challenge. You can verbally challenge 5 of your friends if you like to talk, or you can tag them in the post.
Yeah.
And then the same thing, they'll share the post and they'll upload their video.
Very good. So the Seeing a Hand Association, you're going to see these because they're on your Facebook page. I know you also have a website too, right?
We do have a website, and that will talk more about our programs and other things that we do. If everybody is not quite familiar with us, please go to our website, and you can find out all about the services that we do.
Good. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that now. Just what does the Seeing Hand Association do for people who have vision problems or in fact blind?
Well, thank goodness people don't go blind as often as they used to, but it is a challenge. It's life-changing. And we like to say that, you can do anything you want pretty much except for drive, but you have to learn to adapt. And that's kind of what we try to help you do. Our mission, the short version is, we help them lead fulfilling and independent lives. The biggest part of this mission is employment, because if you are blind and visually impaired, you have an unemployment rate of 70% to face.
Yeah.
If you are blind and visually impaired with an additional disability, your unemployment rate is around 90%. So we try to provide employment opportunities for anybody that has vision problems. We have a workshop upstairs, and for over 20 years we tried to come up with a new project to expand employment, and about 3 years ago we started refurbishing fire extinguishers. So it's a win-win situation. It's a product that everybody needs for their home or their business. We offer them at about half the cost of a new one, but they have a 6-year warranty, and it provides employment for our workers. We also cane chairs, make mops, sell brooms, and then, have low vision products. Like if you needed a magnifier, we could help you pick out the one that would help you be able to read better.
Yeah. I might stop down and get one of those myself just for
It's the age thing,
It's the age, I know. And I'm very old here. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. I know you guys have been around for a long time, right? Didn't you say in the
We have.
30s? In the 30s?
Yeah, it started in the 30s, and then we incorporated in 1946. So we've been around for a very long time.
That's amazing. And I know for many years, I grew up in an era when, it was the Lions Club was associated with helping blind people. I know they marketed brooms and things like that. Do you have an association with the Lions Club, or is that something that's still, a part of your fabric?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm a Lions Club member.
Okay.
I'm a Lion in the Wheeling chapter. I haven't gone to too many meetings lately because of this crazy pandemic, but we do partner with them. They're very supportive of us, and we also collect used eyeglasses. So if somebody is looking to discard their glasses, we collect them and turn them into the Lions Club. We also have applications for glasses from the Lions Club. If they don't have access to a computer to pull it online, we can give them one of those. So we do work with the local Lions Clubs.
Do you help people who are maybe macular degeneration or other where they're beginning to lose their vision with medical interventions or anything like that? Is that some part of your function?
Well, we're not on the medical end of it.
Okay.
A lot of times we see people that are facing problems and they've been to their doctor, but there's not a lot more that can be done. So they're looking for supportive help and also technical help, like to talk about our programs very briefly. There are all kinds of programs if you want to use your computer. There's JAWS, there's Zoom text. There are things that can talk to you and make the text larger. Yeah. There's all kinds of adaptive devices like CCTVs where you can stick a cookbook or your mail underneath it and it makes the print larger. There's an amazing new product. We're not a distributor of it, but we can put you in contact with it called My Eye, which is for people that can't see at all, and they can put the glasses on, and the glasses actually read the text in front of them. They'll read a book or the newspaper, but it also has facial recognition. So if it said Karen walked into the room, it could tell you that I was the one that walked into the room. It's pretty incredible technology. Yeah. So we do see a lot of people. The largest number of people that we see do have macular degeneration. It's the aging population, and it's not a one-size-fits-for-all. A magnifier might help somebody. Adaptive technology might help somebody else, like a CCTV or a computer program. We also have, when we're not limiting our programs because of everything that's going on, we have a recreation and exercise program. And it's a really cool program. As you can imagine, if you were blind or visually impaired, it might be difficult, first of all, to get transportation, which we do have that. And second of all, to go to a gym and navigate.
Yeah,
so
I'd never considered. That's amazing,
Yeah, so we will hopefully in the upcoming year get back into it, but we have once-a-week exercise program where we have instructors or a yoga instructor or essential oils person to come in and teach us about health and wellness. We have a bowling league once we get back again on Saturdays called the Cheerful Bowlers. They have been bowling for over 50 years.
Now that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yep, it's pretty amazing. And we also have a support group that we call our share group because it's not led by a counselor. It's led by people that are dealing with sight and vision loss. But this is a great group because when you first start to lose your sight, it's kind of like going through the cycle of change. You're going to be in denial, you're going to be angry, you're going to be upset, and you're really not going to know what to do. And we can help you with that. We can help you learn to cope. We can help you take an evaluation of everything that's going on in your life and say, yes, this is a stumbling block, but now what can we do? And so we offer, again, employment for somebody that maybe you're a truck driver and you can't be a truck driver anymore. So we can work with you if you're going to work here, or if we retrain you and help you do something else somewhere else. So we have all kinds of programs, hopefully in the next 6 months to a year, that will be fully up and running again.
Yes, we're all hoping for that. I know, so you offer just a wide range of services, and this fundraiser will go to help with rehabilitation, with career and vocational training, so that folks can actually take care of themselves, for personal adjustment, training in basic life skills, and And then once the pandemic is over, the cheerful bowlers, which is great. I just love that idea that you can get out and bowl. And then the share group, which is not really a counseling group, right? But it's a support group, I guess you might call it that.
Yeah, it's a support group. It's basically talking about successes, talking about challenges. Usually when they get together, we hear a bunch of people laughing and having a really good time. But they have made great friendships and bonds over this group. It's a really good group of people, and we can't wait to do it again. Another probably shining star of our entire organization, which we had to postpone this year, is our Camp Independence. We have a camp for children aged 10 to 17. That's what our steak fry in the fall supports. And they get to go to camp for a week, and each year the camp has a theme, and we do all kinds of things. I mean, we've taken them to Kennywood, we've taken them rock climbing, we've taken them swimming, just tons and tons of really fun things. This year, we had to look at it a little bit different, and we held our first ever virtual online camp. Now, it was just a one-day camp, and obviously it wasn't near as fun as doing all those things, but we were proud of ourselves to get it together, and we had about only 3 people attend that, but it was pretty informative. So our camp, hopefully, again, next year, July is the tentative date, and we're hoping we can do it.
Yeah, it sounds like a great program, and it's nice that you can work with children, too. One of the things that really struck me, too, as we were talking was when you were discussing, just the emotional distress that you can go through when you're having a medical problem, when you begin to lose your sight, and to have this kind of support and help is truly amazing.
Well,
go ahead, yeah.
Let me tell you a very quick story. One of our employees that is not working right now, but he lost his vision overnight. If you can imagine that you go to sleep one night, this happened so long ago that he turned on Johnny Carson, didn't use a remote, and laid down in bed, and the next morning when he woke up, he was blind. At that time, he still has a wife and 2 children, and he was an appliance repairman, which required him to go to different places. So all of a sudden in one day, you can't drive, you can't do your career, and really and truly until some training, you can't even really walk down the street by yourself. That's a success story of ours, because he'll tell you that he sat at home for a long time, even after getting a degree in psychology, until someone said, you really need to go to work for the Seeing Hand. And that's what we want to do. We want to offer hope to the people if they start to lose their vision, to realize, yes, it's not exactly what you want it to be, but your life doesn't end there. You can still have a fulfilling life and do many things.
Yes. If you're just tuning in, I'm talking to, this is Butch Maxwell on the Afternoon Drive, talking to Karen Guerrero-Haught, who is the director of the Wheeling Seeing Hands Association. And they've got a fundraiser, and we want you to help out. You're going to sing for sight. Basically, just do a little video of you singing a song that is in, just as long as it's in public domain, so we don't owe royalties. So Jingle Bells, Silent Night, or Deck of the Halls are among the things that are suggested. Just sing it, perform it, be silly, whatever you want, but put it up on your Facebook page and then challenge 5 of your friends to do the same. And if they don't do it, then they should send $10 to the Seeing Hand Association, and that'll help support all of their work over the next year or so. One of the things, did I say everything?
You did. Okay. Thank you.
All right, sure. Volunteer opportunities. Most nonprofits do have some chances for people who want to volunteer to help. Cause. So what do you got?
We do. We rely heavily on volunteers. One of our other programs that I didn't mention is we have a garden. It's a vertical garden on Wheeling Island, and our employees go there and they plant and they water and they harvest, and they've learned how to garden, and it's pretty amazing. The lot was donated to us, I think it's been about 7 years ago now, and we couldn't do it without our volunteers. Normally, in a normal season, we have about 150 volunteers that go to the garden from April to October. This year, we probably had less than 25, so it was a challenging year. But instead of taking our employees this year, because we didn't want to expose them to being around people, we gave away 100% of the produce because we were worried about food scarcity in the area.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing. We have a master gardener and an assistant, and they would be working, and people would come all summer long and say, how can we get food? And we would get a list, and each week we served about 8 to 10 families. But yes, we have a garden that we offer volunteer opportunities to. We also need, oftentimes in our workshop, volunteers, and sometimes we need volunteers to enter data on our computer and things. So if that's something that anybody would be interested in, please reach out to us.
Yes, yes, and you can reach the Seeing Hands Association at 304-232-4810. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, good. I just want to make sure. What a great opportunity to use your skills to help. I think it's called you call it the Edelman Garden.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a wonderful way to help. You can also just help by by purchasing items, mops, brooms, fire extinguishers. You refurbish the fire extinguishers. Is that right?
We do, but we sell them.
Okay.
If you needed one for your home, it's actually very cost effective. Let's say a home fire extinguisher is what they call usually a 5-pound. If you have an old one, you just bring it in and trade it in. So a refurbished 5-pound fire extinguisher costs $35. If you have a trade-in, we give you $10 off. So basically for $25, you have a fire extinguisher that's going to be good for 6 years.
Yeah, and that's right. I was going to ask you, when do they expire? Because I've got a couple of fire extinguishers in my house, and I know they're older than 6 years.
Well, they should be inspected monthly and yearly. If you're in a business, monthly. If you're at your home, yearly, probably. But yeah, they're good for about 6 years. The older ones need what they call hydro tested, but you wouldn't have to go through any of that. You could just trade it in, replace it with a refurbished one, and then the one that you trade in, either if we can refurbish it, we will. If not, we recycle them.
Oh, okay, great. So a number of different ways that you can help out the Seeing Hand Association. Do us a favor and log on to your Facebook account and look up the Seeing Hand Association, Wheeling, West Virginia. Maybe you could do a video or help out or volunteer, any number of things you can do. One last question, Karen. Well, I guess two. One is there anything else we haven't covered that you want to cover? Because I want to make sure you get in everything you need to.
Well, we have one other little fundraiser going on December the 10th. We're giving away a Christmas wreath with about $400 worth of gift cards to one lucky winner.
Oh.
So if singing is not your choice, then maybe you might want to take a chance on that. And that information is on our Facebook page as well. There's PayPal and Venmo links. If you want tickets, we can take care of that.
Okay, great. And then my final question was, about your maiden name. I'm as a musician, the name Guerrero just it was a big name in music here in the local area. So can you tell us about your family affiliation with Guerreros?
Well, if I can do it without crying. My
No.
grandfather started the company in 1923. My grandfather, my uncle, and my father worked there for years. Then my cousin and I worked there. Unfortunately, the music business became very difficult to survive. I would have never dreamed in a million years that people wouldn't play piano and that band programs would be cut. I was there for 26 years and basically was tasked with reinventing myself in my 50s. I thought I would be there for the rest of my life. So it was a great journey. We had 7 stores at the height of our business all over Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. That's how I met you, and that's how I met so many wonderful people.
Yes, it was great memories, and you just know that your family contributed greatly to the legacy of the Ohio Valley, especially in young musicians who.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, my father, Don Guerrero, like I said, he's at the nursing home, but I'm going to post his video, and he spent his entire life there, 57 years in the business.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. Great. Hey, Karen, thank you so much for contributing to all you do here in the Ohio Valley, and especially for contributing to my show this afternoon. I do appreciate it.
And thank you for asking me. Have a great holiday season.
Okay, thank you. Karen
Thank you.
Karen Guerrero-Hott of the Seeing Hands Association. Support them, please. And when we come back after the news break, My very special guest will be Sean Decker, a musician, history professor, and just my very good friend. You're listening to Butch Maxwell on the Afternoon Drive right here on the Watchdog Network.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
California, ABC's Alex Stone has more in Los Angeles on coronavirus.
California again breaking a record, which it has done repeatedly over the past week or so. Today, California reporting over 22,000 new COVID-19 cases in the state recorded in just the past 24 hours, and 145 more deaths in the past day. Close to 10,000 people with COVID-19 are hospitalized in California. That's up by 246 since Thursday.
You're listening to ABC News.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Looking for the perfect present? Then head to the perfect place. Stop by your neighborhood Ace and find the best gifts from brands like Steel, Eagle, and Milwaukee, or Traeger, Weber, and Yeti. And to help make sure your gifts are under your tree on time, you can shop in-store, online, or on the Ace app. Pick up in-store, curbside, or get them delivered. Get amazing deals on the best gifts when you wrap it in red at Ace at participating stores.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
The first COVID vaccine doses have arrived in the UK.
First one to gain approval here is the Pfizer variety. First jabs rolled out early next week. Business Secretary Alex Sharma.
We're starting initially with 800,000, and then let's see where we end up by the end of the year in terms of the numbers that we acquire. That will depend on the manufacturing. I hope we will have some millions by the end of this year.
Vast majority of vaccinations, however, will take place next year. 2 other vaccine candidates are currently under regulatory review here as well. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Pandemic puppies pushing profits for one company amid this pandemic. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
With more people adopting animals during these days of isolation, Petco has filed for an initial public offering. Same-store sales have risen 9.5% so far this year. Petco plans to list on the NASDAQ with the ticker symbol WOOF.
Missing credit card payments could be an early sign of dementia. A new study found that patients with Alzheimer's disease and dementia were more likely to miss payments up to 6 years before being diagnosed. The study looked at consumer credit report data from more than 81,000 Medicare recipients for a 20-year period. Alzheimer's affects about 5.8 million Americans 65 years and older. This is ABC News.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now, but if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is at it again with $10 Tuesdays. Your choice of steak, ribs, wings, or shrimp, plus a sidecar for only $10. All day Tuesday, Quaker Steak and Lube voted Best Wings USA.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Chris DePlaga and family of Top Notch Landscaping and Supply would like to wish all their customers, past, present, and future, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bring the whole family to their lighted lot for that special Christmas tree while supplies last. Open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's DePlaga's Top Notch Landscaping and Supply, located at 140 Peninsula Street in Fulton, where everybody goes for their tree.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Considerable cloud cover with a rain shower on and off through the day, a high near 45. Overnight low of 34 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. A cloudy Saturday in store with temperatures in the lower 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors. From the Watchdog, this is the Afternoon Drive with live and local issues, guests, and conversations.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone and hacked out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a
It just occurs to me, listening to that song, it's got that kind of nice bass run in the beginning, and the Doors didn't even have a bass player. You know, what was that up with that?
Ray Manzarek would play a bass organ with his other hand.
Yeah, but there was an organ going on there, and,
Yeah.
and then
he'd play like he'd play two at a time.
yeah, he has two hands. I guess he can do
Yes,
that.
he does.
Yeah.
He was very good.
Yeah,
He's very. Oh, he is. He's still alive.
you've stumbled on.
Is he still alive?
I think he is. Yeah,
he's
yeah. You've stumbled upon the Afternoon Drive on WKKX and WVLY, the Watchdog Network, with Butch Maxwell. My guest right now is Sean Decker, who is going to come in. We're going to just talk and play a little music too, which is always fun. Yeah. Well, last time, we didn't get anything. We didn't get everything in we wanted to, so we've got that going. Yeah. Sean is also a teacher at Wheeling Central Catholic, and CJ, my producer, CJ Rose, is a former student of Mr. Decker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Last year.
Last year.
Was it last year?
Just last
Yep.
year.
Really?
Yeah.
They grow up so
Good
fast. Yeah, he's at like a big-time college student now.
Yes. Very good. How's
Yep.
college going?
It's going pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, we had mostly in-person learning down in Marietta.
Oh, Marietta.
Yeah.
I like that town.
Yeah, you played there a few times.
We
too.
played there a few times.
I was telling him that's the last gig we did together was down in Marietta.
Before the end.
Before the end of before the world ended.
That's right.
Yeah. So how you been? You've been hanging in?
I'm doing great,
Yeah.
Butch. You know?
Staying healthy?
Yeah. No.
No?
I mean, no.
No?
No, I've not healthy. I've never been healthy.
Well, you're not ill at least anyway, right?
I am not ill.
Okay.
You know, I think. Well, they say alcoholism is a disease. These last 8 months, I may have.
You may have developed that.
I may
huh?
have contracted. I may have contracted something.
Yeah.
Not to make light of it, I apologize. But no, I've had a few more beers than usual.
Have you?
In my evenings,
I have had actually 2 in some evenings, which is like big time for me. 1.5 mostly, but I'm not a very good drinker. It's not really something I've been able to do. However, I have
all cocaine for you.
Yeah, that's right. It's all cocaine. I have gained weight though. The last 2 years at my doctor's appointment, I've gone up by 1 pound each year.
Oh, you go to the doctor?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
How about that?
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm married to a nurse practitioner, so
Yes,
so she demands that I get screened.
Yeah, I
and
should
all
probably go sometime.
that. You probably should, but you're young enough.
Am-
that you
okay,
probably,
yeah.
when you get to be old like me, then you got to monitor these things to find out.
But what is age? What is age really? Am I young? Am I old?
Yeah.
Am I middle-aged?
Yeah. Well,
I'm middle-aged.
I think you're middle-aged.
I was just having this conversation. We're doing this thing. I'm not going to get into too many details because I don't want to get in trouble, but something where we would perform Christmas songs. So I said, well, how about we do Merry Christmas, Everybody by Slade or Father Christmas by the Kinks?
Yeah.
And the person said, well, the people that want you to do this, they're a little bit more middle-aged, and they were hoping for something less obscure. I'm like, listen, I am middle-aged,
right.
and those songs came out 5 years before I was born.
Yes, yeah.
So I think everyone. I mean, I know time does not exist anymore for
Right,
many
yeah.
people, but this whole middle-age thing. I'm sorry, I am.
What would it be? All I Want for Christmas Is You? It came out in the late
probably,
90s. It's peculiar. And you're not going to get. I know every year you get to do a Christmas show too, and you're not able to do it this year. But
Maybe people are hurting because they aren't wandering around a department store hearing the same 7 songs every
could
time
be.
while they're shopping.
Yeah.
All this.
Now-
They're trying to get that effect of, man, I haven't heard these songs enough this year yet. I haven't heard them enough.
Well, you can always tune into one of the other radio stations where they play Christmas music from November 1st on. So
Yes.
it's kind of incredible. But I don't know. This is going to be a weird holiday. We're not able to perform. Towngate's got a show going on. At least there's that. And so I talked to PD a little bit earlier.
Yes.
And, they're going to be staging a Christmas Carol as of tonight, but they're not going to sing. They can't do that.
The Bridge and Tunnel Christmas show was canceled.
Yeah. But that's always so huge. In fact, I was trying to get you guys to maybe move it to the Strand where you'd have more seats because the Towngate's got 170 seats, something like that. And the Strand in Moundsville has about double that.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been down there.
Oh,
I got to
really?
get down there. I know.
It's a great little theater, but I think it's maybe 300, 400 possible.
Well, you never know. We could take this show on the road.
Yeah, you could. But we got to get rid of this darn virus first.
What else have you talked about besides the virus? I'm tired of talking about the virus. I mean, I'm not tired of taking precautions or doing what I have to do. I'm not ready to. I never want to leave the house, so this has really been easy for me.
Yeah, that's true. This has been an introvert's.
But what's happening today? What have you covered today?
Well, I've talked about. Let's see. I've talked about.
I need my 2 cents are important.
Trump's lawsuits.
Okay. Very good.
So,
boy, those are fun, aren't they?
Yeah, I could. You could weigh in on that. We've also been talking about the presidential pardons.
Yes.
Which is another issue that's
Yes.
It's festering, I think, is a good word for that.
Yeah.
We talked somewhat about Biden's cabinet picks and what his agenda is going to be.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't bring up yet, I brought up off the air, is Warner Brothers announced that next year all of their theatrical movies are going to be streamed at the same time. But it will be only for a month, and then they're going to go through the usual rotation of being, taking them away and then releasing them on DVDs and Blu-rays, and then cycle back again to being streamed.
Fascinating.
So yeah.
And then they're releasing all their old movies as well? No.
Well,
no.
that
This
might
is
be
this is like okay. I didn't understand what the heck it was talking about because I don't. Now I get it. Okay. So there is a Matrix 4 coming out?
Yes, Matrix 4 is among. I know. There shouldn't have been a 2 and a 3 probably, but 4, yeah. I know.
Oh my.
Yeah, and is Keanu Reeves going to be in it?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Granted, I'll watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch it.
I know. I did. I watched all three myself, even though after the second one, it's like, I don't think I'm going to watch. I did watch the third, when it came out. But I didn't even know until this week or a couple weeks ago that there was a Scream 4 too, and it was on Facebook. So I slugged my way through that. I don't know. I kind of like those scary films. It's kind of fun, and it has a sense of humor about it.
Oh yeah.
With Scream, and there's a Scream 5 being planned. So
Well, there you go.
it's just the never-ending stream of screams, I guess.
That's right. Well, hasn't 2020 just been one long continuous scream?
It really has. Yeah. It's kind of a quiet scream.
Yes.
Just
Mental, mostly.
Yeah.
Psychological
Definitely,
screams.
yeah.
In the deepest, darkest caverns of our minds.
Yeah. To expose all that, I know something. So that. The other thing I thought might talk to you about, and I try to engage another guest in this, and maybe it's just too deep. Maybe we don't even want to go there, but it's occurred to me on more than one occasion that Donald Trump was a Democrat for many years. Do you think he could have hijacked the Democratic Party in 2016 the way he did the Republican Party?
No. Well, that's a weird question.
I know.
That's an odd question.
It's just a strange-
Could a populist, a
Demagogue.
pure populist demagogue, take over the Democratic Party? Well, I think what is so fascinating to me, and this is why I don't think it would have happened, is how all in the Republican Party gets. They're very good at party unity.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Like they just, I mean, you only have to look at Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham and all these. They think about a decade in advance. And the party is it.
Yeah.
That's all they're really concerned about. I don't think they're concerned with making the world a better place. I think they're mostly concerned with
staying rich.
Well, just staying at the sport of staying in power.
Yeah.
I think they view it much more as a game.
The old cliche goes, the Democrats have to fall in love with their candidate, and Republicans fall in line.
Well, that's
And
a
I
pretty
think,
good line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do I think in 2016? I mean, think about the circumstances of the current Democratic Party already, and it's not even in power yet.
Yeah.
There was electoral unity among the Democratic Party.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and that there's a lot for whatever reason. There's a lot of it. I don't know what he would have ran on.
Yeah.
I think he would have had to be more for Medicare for all than Bernie.
Yeah.
He would have had to be more open borders than the imaginary Democrats that Republicans come up with when it comes to the issue of open borders. I mean, you just have to look at the extremity.
The racism thing wouldn't have worked very well for him in the Democratic Party, you don't think?
No, I mean, he would have had to, I don't even, he would have had to, I don't know, who would he have picked for his VP?
Yeah.
Who's the opposite of Mike Pence? RuPaul?
Maybe. That's a
honest
good
to
idea.
God, just kind of, I don't think so. I don't understand why we keep pretending like Donald Trump just started existing in 2016. I'm 41 years old. Now, maybe I watched too much TV as a young kid, but even I remember him being a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. he
In the
was.
popular culture.
Yeah.
Way back when, and he was the lifestyles of the rich and famous guy. He was tacky and gaudy and all this stuff. I don't understand how, collectively, society forgot about all of that.
About what
I
a
mean,
clown he was.
He ruined the USFL. All of his failures were very public.
Yes,
like
yeah.
it's not like like I have no idea who some of these people were. Who I don't know Joe Biden very well, and I don't really care. I don't know. It's just no. So I'm going to say no. He would not.
He wouldn't have. Yeah. He would have had it would have been a very different candidacy. And I don't really think. I think given if you accept my premise that Democrats have to fall in love and Republicans fall in line, then I can't imagine the Democrats actually falling in love with Donald Trump. I don't know that anybody has fallen in love with other than Donald Trump, maybe. But then again, I've got a second thought myself on that, in that his followership has resembled a cult more than anything else.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
so in a sense, it's not just falling in line. It's it's embracing the crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I have no empathy or sympathy for anyone adhering to the GOP at all anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely done. And I maybe it's the 8 months of isolation talking, but I'm done.
Yeah.
I do not think they should exist anymore as an organization.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't. Not as human
not
beings.
Not the human beings.
No.
Right? Okay,
no.
yeah.
There's already a conservative party in the United States. It's called the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
You can join them all you want, and then I'll yell at you from my, after I'm done paying my Democratic Socialist dues.
Tax.
Yeah. It's absurd. It's so. They make this country so out of touch with humanity, with reality, with every other developed country.
Yeah, yeah. One thing
it's mind blowing.
One thing that is that has amazed me is that it seems as though the Democrats gave up all grounds for Christianity. Why is it that republicanism and Christianity seem to be at least they're talking as though if you're a good person, then you must be you have to be conservative, you have to be Republican, and yet it seems to me that Jesus would probably have not been a conservative. He wouldn't have been asking the poor people he wouldn't have drug tested the poor people before he fed them and things like that. So I don't know which party seems to be at least a little more in line with say Christianity. And it's not that I'm advocating Christianity necessarily. I'm just saying this seems it seems that incongruous at least.
Yeah. I will just say this.
Okay.
So if we're not thinking about it in theoretical terms, but in real terms,
all right,
in factual terms, in the 1970s, the Southern Baptist Coalition, the evangelical right,
yes,
which court case do you think sent them running for the Republican Party?
Roe v. Wade, I imagine.
That you would be incorrect.
And then there was another abortion-related one in the 90s. No? Okay.
Had nothing to do with abortion.
Okay.
Okay. When Roe v. Wade was passed, the Southern Baptist Coalition supported that decision. Then there was Milliken v. Bradley, which was about school segregation. And they didn't like that one one bit.
Yeah. Can't have those brown and black people with
yes.
white people.
And that was the one that was used to push a lot of right-wing evangelicals to the Republican Party. It was not. So what you think about abortion or not is irrelevant. It's not what you think. You think that these cases were what? That's what got the Catholics.
Yeah.
Catholics, yeah, they were not happy, but about Roe v. Wade. But those kind of evangelical Pat Robertson types, they were fine.
It was a different issue. Huh? Yeah. I'd never really thought about that before. See, you always bring fresh insights. That's interesting. But why then? Why are they still hanging on? I mean, that's we do have we have integrated schools now. okay, we don't have integrated neighborhoods, therefore we don't have integrated schools. I suppose that's your point under there.
We have redlining is as appropriate as a parent as it was in the 1930s. It's still we are probably just as segregated in schooling. The magical thing throughout all laws related to race is if you don't bring up race, then it's not racist. That's all you got to do. Jury selection, school segregation, affirmative action, all these things. If you just don't bring up their race so blatantly, you can pretty much get away with everything. And the Supreme Court has backed up that numerous times on numerous occasions because the Supreme Court is ridiculously conservative and has been for, I don't know, 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
a long time.
I don't understand why. I still don't understand how we talk about the Supreme Court as possibly being liberal and possibly being conservative. Even if they're liberal, it's barely.
Yeah, the liberal justices are not exactly very liberal at all.
And now it's 7-3. I don't know. Pack that court.
Yeah.
And don't put Obama on there because he's just as conservative.
I think it's 6-3 though, but your point is well taken.
6-3.
Yeah. And
put some real lefties on there.
Yeah.
'cause-
How about President Obama?
No.
No? Don't think so? I don't think
No.
he'd want it really, but
No, he's so centrist. I can't even stand him anymore.
yeah,
I'm done with
he
him.
is very centrist. It's true, and it's what I've often said. The greatest Republican president of my lifetime was Bill Clinton.
That's right.
So because he was very conservative. It was part of the times, though. We were just coming off the so-called Reagan Revolution, and 4 additional years of.
No, it's because
Bush.
Republicans will lie constantly and make up stuff, and everyone believes it for some reason because they say it in a unified manner.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I get you.
Bill Clinton would have been Bill Clinton without Newt Gingrich.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't think there was a
No.
No.
He wouldn't have. No.
Yeah. Yeah, but you may have a point there. And we look at things like Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and you think, oh my God, what a horrible thing that was. And yet, it was his attempt at trying to make something right, and I guess it kind of proves what conservatives say about liberals all the time is, the good intentions are paving the path to hell, I guess, because that wasn't really good for gay people in the military. Yeah.
You can. It's really not. Yeah. It's absurd. It's all absurd.
Yeah. So your thoughts on going forward then? Are you generally optimistic, pessimistic? What do you think?
With our government?
Yeah.
The future?
With our public policy and how we govern ourselves.
I will say that if it does happen, if there is a true liberalization of the United States of America, the odds of that happening are slim because I think the Democrats will be sheepish, feckless, and ineffectual, and they will lose power in either the next 2 years or the next 4. But if they do, you and I will both probably be dead in the ground before we resemble anything resembling a actually functioning society that cares about the poor, the disenfranchised, and the minority.
Yeah.
It's because it'll just be one small, tiny step forward, 2 giant leaps back.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that, Grandma Doris in Topeka, Kansas votes for the Democrat in the 2028 election, and she's not sure about, I don't know, whatever. Instead of like actually recognizing that we are 1,000 times more liberal than our government presents.
Yeah. I think that's
collectively.
I think that's very true.
76% support for Medicare for all.
Yeah.
Well, they did just do something today. Did you see what they did today?
There's a stimulus relief. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
right
the
now?
House just passed a bill to decriminalize marijuana.
Oh, finally.
Federal
Yeah.
decriminalization of marijuana, and it was a bipartisan vote.
Is that right? Well,
Yes.
good. We'll see if it gets past Mitch McConnell then. You know?
So maybe everyone will be a little bit more chill in 2 years.
Yeah,
and
at
we
least
will-
there's that anyway. We'll be able to take the abuse a little better. All right. Well, on that cheerful note, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I'm going to try to talk Sean into playing a little bit of music.
Yeah, I should have played some. That was nonsense what I just talked
No, it was good. I was in fact ready to invite people to call in and complain to you. I
Yeah,
think it'd be
God,
great.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
Well, you can do that. We'll be back right after these messages. You're listening to Butch Maxwell, along with producer C.J. Rose and my guest, Sean Decker, right here on the Afternoon Drive on the Watchdog Network.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. Charleston Mayor Amy Goodwin tells Metro News the man accused of fatally shooting a Charleston police officer will be charged with first-degree murder.
We are exploring all other avenues of additional charges for state and federal as well.
Officer Cassie Johnson was shot back on Tuesday answering what appeared to be a routine call. She died yesterday, a day after being removed from life support. The suspect, 38-year-old Joshua Phillips, was also wounded in the incident and is recovering from 2 gunshot wounds to his torso. Planning is underway for Officer Johnson's funeral that'll be held at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Mayor Goodwin says they will include full police honors and are working closely with her family to honor their wishes. A date is not yet set. Elsewhere in the news, state police and Wayne County deputies are engaged in a standoff this hour in a remote part of Wayne County. The suspect there is reportedly armed with a rifle in a situation that started as a domestic violence call. He is apparently holed up in a camper, refusing to surrender. Officials say there are no hostages. 13 West Virginia counties are red on today's COVID-19 statewide alert map. That is an indication of substantial transmission of the coronavirus in those counties. Officials say, however, under alternative metrics, 49 of the state's 55 counties would be red. Also today, a new pandemic high of 632 in the hospital, 169 in ICU, and 92 on ventilators. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Mountaineer football team returning to action tomorrow on the road at Iowa State. It's been 21 days since the Mountaineers played a game. Tony Caridi says it's hard to know if that'll be helpful or a hindrance.
That's the great unknown question with the unknown answer.
Kickoff at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. Metro News game day coverage on many of these stations at noon. Marshall will also be back in action tomorrow after a long layoff. They'll play their final home game against Rice with a kickoff at noon in Huntington. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
You might not be able to spend the holidays with family this year in person, but we can all still go home. Tune in to WTRF on December 18th at 7 p.m. for Home for the Holidays, a loving, living local holiday special presented by Wheeling Hospital. We'll reflect on the great holiday traditions of the Ohio Valley. Santa will read letters from local children, and we'll talk about the safe holiday memories you can make this year, plus more, including opportunities for you to win prizes while you watch. Join 7 News in staying home for the holidays.
Throughout the Ohio Valley, back to school is looking different. Each day, parents, teachers, students, coaches, and administrators are finding solutions to situations that are unprecedented. All of us at the Highlands appreciate everything you are doing and are here for the items you need. Visit hitthehighlands.com for the current guidelines and updated contact information of our retailers and restaurants.
Smart Center Market in Wheeling salutes our area healthcare providers, first responders, and EMTs serving on the front lines of COVID-19. It is with humility we extend our thanks to you. Thank you for showing up daily, and thank you for risking your lives and for continuing to stay in the fight. That's from Smart Center Market, always working to make our area a safer place to live.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information, Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
Thank you, Ohio Valley, for making the morning show with Howard Monroe the #1 listened to broadcast in the tri-state area. Catch Howard, Biff and Company weekdays 7 to 10 a.m. only on the Watchdog.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Save big money in all your home improvement projects at Menards. Decorative shelves from Dakota are the functional way to add a contemporary look to your home. They're pre-finished and easy to install, so they're the perfect choice to add storage or display items in any room in your home. Right now, all Dakota shelving is on sale. Save big money on everything for your home now at Menards. Prices good through December 13th. Plus, a Menards gift card is always a great gift idea.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Considerable cloud cover with a rain shower on and off through the day. A high near 45. Overnight low of 34 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. A cloudy Saturday in store with temperatures in the lower 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
Follow us on Facebook for the latest news, show updates, podcasts, alerts, and live video streams from the Valley's only network dedicated to local, community-driven talk radio, The Watchdog. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-8255. The afternoon drive continues with more news, sports, and talk on The Watchdog.
I know you deceived me, now here's a surprise. I know that you have, 'cause there's magic in my eyes. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles.
Oh, yeah. My favorite song by The Who. Thanks for playing that for me, CJ. Yes, we're here with listening to the Afternoon Drive with Butch Maxwell and CJ Rose on the comm, and on deck right now is Sean Decker. And,
Hello.
Yeah, and Sean's going to play some music for us.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, I think so. He was, in fact, learning the chords to that song now as we were playing along. It's pretty good stuff. It's cold outside, by the way. it's cold if you haven't been out. Don't bother. It's 43 degrees. It's not too bad for December, and it's going to be only a high of 39 tomorrow and a high of 37 on Sunday. So we're in for a cold weekend. But, you can stay in. You can listen to some music. You can listen to the Watchdog. We've got OSU Michigan game tomorrow on VLY.
Your favorite, sports.
Yes, sports. Because we did say we were going to talk about sports. And by the way, the one thing that I want from this radio station for Christmas is I want them to make a promo for me, making fun of me. That guy with a big, deep voice, to say something terrible about Butch Maxwell. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
You can also enjoy the West Virginia-Iowa State game on WKKX and WVLY at 3:30, following the Ohio State game. And on Sunday, it's the Browns versus Titans on WKKX at 1 p.m. and WVU basketball at Georgetown at 4:30 on both stations. So there's your sports update. There we go.
Sports.
Sports, right on.
Well, I don't know. Keep talking, Butch.
There's just so much music that Sean can play.
I know.
And,
There's
just choosing the right song. You have any requests, CJ, for Mr. Decker?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
All right, here I got it. And it's gonna be stupid.
All right. A stupid song from Sean Decker. Here we go.
All right. This is sung by James. This bed is on fire with passionate love. The neighbors complain about the noises above, but she only sings when she's on top. Oh no. My therapist said not to see you no more. She says you're like a disease without any cure. She says I'm so obsessed I'm becoming a bore. Oh no. Oh, you think you're so pretty. Caught your hand inside the tail, slammed your fingers in the door, fought with kitchen knives and skewers, rest around with rolls, just around with gender roles, dye my eyes and call me pretty. Out of the house, so you moved next door. I locked you out, you cut a hole in the wall. I found you sleeping next to me, I thought I was alone. You're driving me crazy, when are you coming home?
Yo, Sean Decker.
There you
Nice.
go.
Nice song. I'm not familiar with that song.
Dude, you gotta check out that whole album.
What is that album?
That album is called Laid.
Laid?
By James. You'd love them.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Late entry. They were a bleed over. I think they were trying to be a new wave band, but they were late, so they turned into an alternative band.
Okay, yeah.
So they're fantastic. They're the best.
Oh,
I love James.
I've always said new wave was the original alternative music anyway.
Yeah, it's there's no real distinction.
No, not
You
really.
know.
Not really.
Yeah.
It just when it comes out in a particular era, then you call it new wave.
Yeah. So they were just a little bit late.
Yeah. Late to the
Remember, we play Wild Wild West.
That's true. That was
and
kind of
that
late.
song was released in 1989.
89, right. Well, which I thought 80s would be, from 78 to 80, maybe even 77. The Talking Heads album came out in 77,
Yes.
so,
Yeah, it's all.
yeah, right. We're talking, by the way, because we're both in the M80s, and we do New Wave tribute and stuff, so,
I miss it.
I do too, I do too.
I miss playing.
I'm hoping it's coming back this summer.
Yeah,
see.
it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it sure would.
It would be nice.
Sean Decker's the only one in the band who can actually sing a-ha's Take On Me.
Take on me.
Take On Me.
Take on me.
Take On Me. 'Cause he's the only one that can hit that note. I'm not even sure Aaron can hit it. Yeah, Aaron can hit it, yeah.
Yeah. So we should talk about something funny because I was all serious.
Yeah, yeah, all right.
Or someone should call in and we can just get into it.
That's true, we could
Just
do that.
Go over the hour.
Yeah, well, the next time you're here, I think you should just come in, maybe come in a little earlier, and we'll just
3
blow it out.
hours of
Yeah, just rage. That's right.
But then I feel guilty because like you had the nice woman from the Seeing Hand,
right?
And they're like doing stuff
They
to
are,
like
yeah.
help humanity.
They are indeed.
And my contribution seems to be complaining.
Yeah, right.
Which that and that and $1 will get you a cheap cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to make some social commentary, to talk about things.
Yeah.
And, it's right. But yeah, I know we're not really solving anything. So we probably should do what we do best, which is entertain people.
Yeah.
At least we
So-
think we do that best. I'm not sure.
Oh, by the way, did you guys anyone talk about you guys lost a former KKX person?
No.
Teddy, you remember Teddy the Taint?
Oh yeah, Teddy. Yeah.
He passed
Oh,
away.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh.
Yeah, so Teddy and I, well, it's Mike.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call him Teddy the Taint anymore.
Yeah.
We graduated from
Oh,
Central
okay.
together.
Yeah.
And it was really sad. It was very sad.
Unexpected?
Yeah, and he was an entertaining guy. He tried his hand at some stand-up comedy, which just blows my mind anytime I hear anyone talk about doing stand-up comedy.
That's the scariest thing in the world.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine. And I think that's, why you hear about certain stand-up comedians
Yeah.
being basically insane.
Yeah.
'Cause how else do you get through that?
It's crazy. I mean, I'm a big collaborator. I like to collaborate with people, and there's no collaboration in stand-up. So
Yeah, well, the thing for me is if it goes bad, you can at least turn to your bandmate and be like,
right,
well,
yeah. Hey, you blew that.
Yeah. And even if you're playing solo and you do a song and no one applauds, it's like, well, they're not up here doing this. So
Yeah.
heck with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, with comedy, you don't get a laugh, and it's deadly. It's deadly, and I would not want to do it. But I have my wife's daughter from a previous marriage has been doing some stand-up, and just surprises the heck out of me that she's a very funny girl, but to do that is just that's sort of kind of a fearlessness that I don't know.
yeah.
Closest thing I can come to it is improv, where you come out and you have no plan. Now, at least with a stand-up, you've got a routine, but you don't know how it's going to go down. And,
Yes.
So that's tough. Yeah. I mean, still trying to get you to do improv, though. You think you could be really.
I know. I keep just not doing the Zoom calls, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Usually it was a bad time,
Yeah.
or it's like a weird time. I really should do it some more, but
Well, just because I think you have talent in it. I think you're pretty good. Just thinking on your feet, and that's what it's all about. And
it is. It is. Yeah. No, no. I think the idea of doing it in a Zoom would be. I don't know. How's that been going?
Actually, it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty good.
Is it
there's
just
some,
like having practice? Is that what it feels like?
It kind of
since there's
does,
no-
yeah. But you still feel like you're playing, So
Yeah.
it's not like you're, like there's nothing planned, and so you never know. There are a lot of times where we just sort of drag ourselves. Anybody who rehearses or practices a sport or anything, I don't want to go today, and then you go and you have a great time, and so that's generally what I find. And in improv on Zoom, you can't do some of the physical things you could do in person, but there are some things you can do on Zoom that you couldn't do. Like we do film dubs, where we run a film. And then yeah, we run a film, and then we put in our own soundtrack, which is fun.
Oh, happy birthday to Evan Osland if you're
Oh,
out there
that's right, Evan. Yes, happy birthday.
And if you're, I don't know. You guys got any numbers on like how many people listen or?
How many? Yeah, we had for the improv show. We had about.
No, I was talking about this show.
Oh, this show. Yeah, but I'm not allowed to say. we have dozens, I'm sure.
I'm bringing. Yeah, I think next time I come, I should bring like the sound effects like old time radio.
Yeah, you could do the Foley for us. Yeah, it'd be great. You know, we could do a radio drama right here. I've always loved that stuff. I was a huge fan. You know, Fire Sign Theater. No. Okay, it's way before your time. But ask any old hippie about the Fire Sign Theater. They did albums, and they were comedy albums, but they were so dense. It was like a theatrical production for each album, and really amazing. I gave Ryan a couple of copies of it. So I'm not sure that he ever got into it, but probably just doesn't smoke enough weed to enjoy it.
Maybe. Yeah, well.
But have a couple of beers,
Hey.
and, throw back a couple of beers and enjoy it.
Pretty. Hey, if this bill goes through Congress, well.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even smoke.
Yeah, I
I
know
don't
you
even
don't.
know why I even talk about it.
But there are people who could use it for sure. So, I have certain members of my family that I think, maybe you should try weed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's not legal in West Virginia yet, so I'm just joking right
Yeah,
now.
I don't know how this works federally. I know if there's a federal.
The federal law will trump any state laws. So if it's.
Will it? I mean,
I think it
we're
will.
still not. I don't think so. I
No?
don't think that's necessarily.
All right.
I think, but I think it'd be a huge like, hey.
It's the states are all going to.
Well, what is it? Law is just a piece of paper and pen, and if no one enforces it,
Right.
so I'm sure if that law goes through, even if there are things on the books, they'll be like, eh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and there continues to be the naysayers saying, yeah, but you got to be able to test people when they're driving. If they're drunk driving, you can do an instant test, but you can't do the same with weed. You can't test to see if somebody's maybe you can smell them and say huh? Yeah. But so what? So people were driving on weed and they're driving too slowly, basically. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
I don't know. It'll never be a problem for me. So
Yeah, that's right.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's okay. Beer will never be a problem for me either.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
You got your Zimas.
I have my White Claws. I'm in the 21st century now. It's White Claw.
Oh, that's right.
But so so you got another song for us? We have time for maybe another song.
Should we talk a few more minutes so I can play us out?
Play us out. All right. Yeah, we
Or
can
what
do
do you
that.
think?
We have a call.
Someone wanted to request a song.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So what-
Karma Place or Yellow?
Who was that? Dave over at the
Yellow.
taco place.
No, his name's Tom. He called earlier, Butch.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh.
Tom. Yeah, I talked to Tom earlier.
I was gonna play something uplifting, but Karma Police works.
Or Yellow.
Or Yellow.
I don't know Yellow.
Okay.
But
I'd love to hear you sing Coldplay sometime. That'd be great.
yeah.
That would be pretty good.
I love Coldplay.
I do
yeah,
too.
You can, I liked the X and Y album. That was a song I really liked. Where the heck is it? Hold on, let me see it. I know I have it here somewhere. Where the heck are you? I'm sorry.
He's going through his vast.
Well, no, usually
stash
I
of,
have a lot. I have a lot of stuff. And how does this work? I don't understand it on here. I had. Oh, you know what? No, is it? Oh, no, I don't have it. I don't have it, and I
can't do the request.
Hold on.
Sean Decker, as you may know, if you've tuned in to this radio station from time to time, Sean Decker is Mr. Fancy Pants. His band is Mr. Fancy Pants, and he created it. He also is a member of the Beatles tribute band, Mean Mr. Mustard, and the principal guitar player now in the M80s. So, and he sometimes performs by himself too. So there's just all kinds of ways that you can see Sean Decker under normal circumstances.
All right, I'll do. I have. Luckily, I know all the tricks. So look at me. All right, this could be a little rough because I don't. I guess I should have knocked the headstock off of it twice.
Karma police, arrest this man. He talks en masse. He buzzes like a fridge, he's like a D2 radio. Karma police, arrest this girl. Her Hitler hairdo is making me feel ill, and we have crashed the party. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. Karma police, I'm giving all I can, it's not enough. I've given all I can, but we're still on the payroll. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. And for a minute there, I lost myself. I lost myself. And for a minute there, I lost myself. I lost myself.
You're listening to The Watchdog.
For a minute there, I lost myself.
Afternoon Drive.
I lost myself.
Sean Decker performing.
For a minute there, I lost myself. I lost myself.
I'm Butch Maxwell, and I'll see you again here. I'll be back in the chair and on the air on Monday on the Afternoon Drive. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll listen to Sean play it out.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
Assisted living facilities, group homes, or those with disabilities, psychiatric hospitals, and veterans homes, as will those who work in those facilities. Dr. Bruce Vanserhoff today explaining why these groups are first in line.
This first tier is really targeted to the people who every day are facing the highest exposure and the highest risk to the virus. And just as we did with this phase, we're going to be actively working with the ACIP, the National Academy of Sciences, and other authorities to determine how best to map out the subsequent phases.
Governor DeWine expects the first shipment from Pfizer to arrive in the state around December 15th.
He also says the Moderna vaccine should arrive around December 22nd. And in West Virginia, there's more promising news about COVID-19 vaccines coming to the state. At his Friday briefing, Governor Jim Justice announced that the first batch of Pfizer vaccines should also arrive on December 15th in West Virginia. The second wave of vaccines from Moderna should arrive a week later. The first people to be vaccinated will be nursing home residents and workers. They will be followed by all healthcare professionals and first responders, then the general public.
I am very, very, very hopeful that this will move so quickly, that what will happen is possibly even by the middle of March, we'll be able to